Hello and welcome. Welcome to you here in Alicante, in this magnificent race village at the Ocean Race. And welcome to you at home, wherever you are watching around the world. Welcome to the 2022 eSailing World Championship Grand Final. And in a few moments, I'm going to welcome on stage the 10 best players in the world. How do we know they're the 10 best players? Well, they have competed over the last 8 months against 70,000 other players from 50, 60 different countries around the world. And we are now down to the final 10. They are, standing over here, 3 Italians, 2 Dutch, 2 French, a Briton, a Greek, and a German. So without further ado, let's meet them in the order in which they will be playing. First of all, the one player that is going to be joining us remotely from the Netherlands, that is Bart Lambrechts. And then, let me welcome onto the stage, round of applause please, ladies and gentlemen, from Greece, Yannis Kokonias. From Germany, Roxy Joni, or Jonathan Koch. From the Netherlands, Hide Schrappel. From France, Gaëtan Decat, who competes as Gadek. 3-time finalist and former world champion from Italy, Filippo Lanfranchi. From Great Britain, Arthur Farley. From Italy, Alberto Carraro. And also from Italy, Amos Di Benedetto. And from France, he competes as Alex Kay, Alexandra Kowalski. Change of microphone, and I should say I'm Alec Wilkinson. This is Lucas Moore sitting beside me. We're going to be commentating the sailing that you'll see on a big screen behind us. We'll just wait for them to settle. And I suppose, Lucas, just first of all, we should explain. We were having a few sort of technical internet connection issues, not because it wasn't working, but because we had to be sure that it was fast and reliable. Because there are no discards in this competition. So if you have a bad result or you get booted off the server, then that is it. You get 10th place. So we didn't want to mess around. We wanted to make sure everything was fair. And they're all playing on different devices as well. It's up to their own preference. Yeah, we've got a couple of computer PC players, and then we have some of the guys playing on their mobile phones, very small screens, and then we have a couple of guys also playing on iPads or other tablets. So it's a big mix. And just to make it to the grand final is a huge achievement. Yeah, it's a competition that lasts the whole year. It's countless hours of racing in your bedroom, living room, couch. Some even play on the toilet. And it just takes a lot of hours to be able to be on the stage today. Okay. Just to give them time to settle and get themselves organized, we've got a little video of introduction for you. So let's keep an eye now on the course, because we've just got a few seconds to the start. And that is why Azair is one of the favourites is the favourite to win this World Championship final.
Yeah, and Pepito with a good start, Alec. He's coming into the mark. It's Yannis with him, Greek 9. It's a very great race by the young Carlos. He went with Greece to the left-hand side. They're going for this reaching mark.
A few penalties handed out already, and the clock is now go. He's coming over to this right-hand side. He's going to take on Chico Bimelo, who reacts and picks up the penalty, and oh, it's happened again.
So, Tristan and Pepito, see how fantastic upwind leg both of them been doing.
So, out in front, Ramon Pereiro, he's going to take this victory surely. Pepito in second place, and a really good fight happening for third and fourth. powering up, they're catching the wind in those huge wing sails, and they will be hitting maximum speed as they cross the start line.
Ramon goes in, he needs to pressure him. Oh, this is going to be close. Oh, he's pushed outside. So, as foreseen, here we have the preparers battling with Pepito. It's important point. Yeah, and Alec, just to do the mathematics, right now as it looks, everybody from position 6 to position 1 can be the world champion.
What a win for him. 75 metres ahead of Britain's Deja Vu. The top 8 could all take the world championship. It is go, and it is penalties. So some bad starts there for Pepito and Ramon.
He's in the lead, Alec. So right now, Portugal is going to have their first eSailing world champion.
So you've got Ramon and Pepito and Tristan sort of just focusing on themselves and on their battle for the lead. And they're now seeing others break away. And who knows, maybe we're going to see a real upset now.
And that can give him the world championship to Greece right now.
Wow.
Penalty Greece! No!
Rocco of Italy, who has struggled throughout the regatta, has actually come good in the end to take the medal race ahead of Carlos Parejo and Greece 9. A world champion for 2021 is a Spaniard. It is the 19-year-old from Seville, and his name is Carlos Parejo, who pulled off the most extraordinary medal race that saw his nearest challengers drop down to the back of the fleet, and Carlos Parejo, with that second place finish in the medal race, has sneaked the victory by 1 point. Chico Pimello in second, Pepito took third. So that's a sense of the last World Championship. Now, that was remote. This is our first World Championship in 3 years that we're doing face-to-face. So it's great to have that sort of human contact. But what we saw in that final medal race was the young 16-year-old from Spain coming through and winning it. I think he started in 6th or 7th place.
He was 6th place leading into the medal race, and it just shows that everything can happen even after 11 races.
So it's worth talking about the format to explain what we can expect over the next couple of hours. Basically, it's 12 races. It's a low point scoring competition, so just as a classic Olympic regatta. There are no discards, and basically the final race, there we go, the 12th race, is double points, and that's why it can make such a huge difference. Also, 8 different classes of boats. You can see them there on the screen. We've got the F50, the Laser, the Far East keel boat, a 49er, Nacra 17, and the Offshore and J70 and Star as well. We'll be racing the Laser, the 49er, the J70, and the Nacra twice. And really, why is it that we have all these different types of boats?
I think that's what makes eSailing really interesting. You have to, or it requires that you're really good at racing multiple boats and not just racing your class you race in real life. So it really shows that all these 10 guys, they are some of the best in each of these boat classes.
All right, so 12 races coming up. The medal race is worth double points. We'll keep you up to date with the scores. Let's just run through. We've got cameras on each of their terminals. So let's just show you what they look like. And let's meet the players once again, starting with Alberto Carrero of Italy. Sitting at the far end over there from France is Alex Kay. That's it. Who have we got next? Let's go to Italy's Amos Di Benedetto. There he is. Right behind me here is a former world champion in his third eSailing World Championship final, Filippo Lanfranchi of Italy. Sitting next to him from Great Britain is the 18-year-old Arthur Farley. And our first Dutch player, Ida Schraffort, over there. Say hello. Jonathan Koch, otherwise known as Roxigoni from Germany. Love the t-shirt. And our second French player is Gaetan, who competes as Gadek. And from Greece, Yannis Kokonias, who competes as Greece 9. GRE 9 is the name to look out for on the screen. And from the Canary Islands, where he's at an Olympic training camp, Bart Lambrechts of the Netherlands. Okay, we're just a few minutes away from that first race. So, favorites?
I think this year they've been through a lot of extra regattas in order to get to this final. So I think this year we do have the best 10 of the 2022 season with us.
Yeah, because the format's changed slightly this year.
Yeah, we've had a bit of different formats in the eSailing World Championships in the past, and this year it's been very focused on qualifying through a offline final where you race against 40 other eSailors also qualified to that final.
And of the 12 races, well, let's say the 8 different classes, it's a real mix. Can you give us a bit of an overview of what to expect?
Yeah, we have everything from slow boats like the Star and the Laser to one of the fastest racing boats, the F50. So it requires some different skill sets, each boat, and I think that's what makes eSailing really exciting to watch and play as well.
And also age-wise, I don't know if any of you joined us at the stage this morning, but when we met the players, the youngest is 17, that's Ida from the Netherlands, and the oldest player here is 52 years old. So there's a real age range. And the range in boats as well means that, yes, there are some real fast ones where you need those fast reactions, but there's also some slower, more tactical, strategic boats like the keel boats that need a different approach and maybe more experience. So I think that explains the width and the breadth of the 10 finalists here.
Yeah, it really does.
So which boat are you looking forward to most? Or which do you like sailing? Because I should say Lucas is a top e-sailor himself. So, yeah, he's got plenty of experience across the board.
I think the J70 is gonna give us some exciting races. It's a very tactical boat. It's medium speed of all the boats in the final. And I think it's also one of the boats with the closest racing. So I think we're going to have some really, really good J70 races.
Yeah, I mean, the J70 is a favorite because it kind of gives you everything. It gives you that speed, doesn't it? But you also need the strategy. You need to be ahead before that downwind leg. But these are all details that we'll run through with you once we get the racing going, which should be in about a minute or two's time. We'll get out on the water. The venue, funnily enough, for this eSailing Grand Final is the waters of Alicante, and some of the conditions will mirror the conditions out on the water here in the bay right now. Is there anyone here? I mean, we talked about favourites. Is there anyone you're maybe surprised by getting to the final, getting to that final 10?
I think this year it's not really. It hasn't been too much luck in getting to the final. I think now I've raced a lot against Jonathan Koch. we're teammates on Unicorns of Love, and maybe he was the most surprising to be in this final. I've raced against him multiple times, but if you're really good on the day of the final, then you have a really big chance at winning and also at qualifying to the grand final.
Yeah, has he got a mascot, Jonathan? Is that
Yeah, I think he has multiple mascots. I think he has
Jonathan?
a small teddy bear on his table.
Show us your mascots, please. Ah, yeah. What is it?
It's a koala.
Oh, koala. Okay, koala. I was expecting a unicorn. If Unicorns of Love is the
yeah, I was surprised to
is the
see
name of
he
the team.
didn't bring his unicorn suit to wear in the final.
Okay, just on a serious note, we're here with a live audience. This isn't how the players normally play. As I said, this is our first live grand final since 2019. Live audience, people watching at home, there's a lot of pressure, and I've seen a few shaking hands as well as the nerves have kicked in.
Yeah, I think there will always be some nerves. Also, that we're doing a live final with live audience, and they can all look at each other's faces while they're racing, maybe even celebrate in each other's faces if they win a close race or something. So I think it definitely brings up the nerves a bit more than when you're just sitting in the safety of your home or your couch.
And of course, they're all playing on their chosen devices. So give us a range, really, of the sort of stuff that they're playing with. Because we've got these big stacks here, but they're not all using them. They've chosen their own devices.
Yeah, we've got laptops, iPads, and iPhones. I think, personally, playing on the phone it's a bit too small.
Okay.
And it's a bit easier to be clumsy or press the wrong button.
Well, let's get going. You can see on the screen, race one is just beginning to, they're preparing to get the race underway. It is in the fastest boat in eSailing, the F50, and we're going to be on the waters of Alicante. You can see that it's a reaching start from that race map on the right-hand side. So they'll start with the wind to their starboard side, and then it's a reaching turn. Then they go downwind, upwind for about 7 legs. That's right, 7 legs to the finish line. And with 10 boats out on the water, 10 F50s traveling at those speeds, it can be really chaotic.
Yeah, you really got to nail the start and try be in the leading group of maybe 3 boats out to the reaching mark. And then you really got to watch out not getting yourself a penalty on that first reaching mark turn.
The F50, of course, developed for Sail GP and the America's Cup before that. Who does it suit most?
I think probably out of this group, it's probably Arthur Farley. He's the eSail GP champion of 2021, I think. And yeah, I think he has the best shot at winning the F50 races.
Okay. So, Filippo, I have my microphone here. Can we have a little chat with you because you're closest to me? Yeah? Okay. So, if I just move back out of the way so the camera can pick you up. So, tell me about your processes and where you play, where you like to play, your little ritual.
I like to play in my house. I have a little room in the bottom of my garden, and I have a comfort chair. I like to smoke a cigar, a Tuscan cigar. Then I like to play in my little room in the bottom of my garden, and I have a lot of relaxed time playing.
Now, but you're also a businessman.
Yeah.
You have a nice cream shop to run. How do you manage to do both? Because I know you guys spend a lot of time eSailing.
I don't have time. I play only, maybe mostly in winter, and in summer when my shop is open, I play only around 1 hour per day, no more. This guy have a lot of time than me to play. then when I start my new shop in Italy, I have to play a bit less. Then it's a hard difficult in summer for me.
Now, he likes a cigar before playing and during playing. Sitting next to him, if you could pass the microphone over, we have Arthur Farley, who couldn't be more different. We had a bit of a laugh because we're all on a WhatsApp chat. And yesterday, Arthur was posting a photo. He posted a photo of himself in the hotel gym going, "I'm just working out, ready for the final." And Filippo here posted a photo of himself with a drink and a cigar in the bar at the hotel. So two very different approaches. Tell me a little bit about, you're actually a professional athlete now, competing for the Olympic Games.
Yeah, so I'm on the British Olympic development squad, yeah, I'm going for the next games. I'm on the route to that, and yeah, I won the Europeans this year for my age. So in real life, in under 19, the Europeans, and yeah, hopefully this year I can do a bit better. And yeah, I enjoy eSailing because it's fun, no? I get to play with some of these guys, voice chat. We have some fun and also bad arguments, you know, as it is. But it's competitive and it's nice to be here. In March this year, I managed to go to San Francisco, fully paid by SailGP, because I won the eSailGP final. Which is really cool, really good experience as well. It opens doors not only in eSailing, but also real sailing, so yeah.
Well, good luck with the Olympic trials and campaigns over the next few years.
Yeah, thank you.
LA would be a good place to go, especially after being in San Francisco this year with SailGP. What do you fancy your chances are here today?
I mean, I won the qualifier to come here by a decent amount of points. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, everyone here is like really, really good. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, well, best of luck. If you pass the microphone over to Alberto, just use your webcam to talk to the web. That's it, so people at home can see you. So Alberto, this is your. You told me this earlier, and I couldn't believe it. That this is actually only your first World Championship final, because you seem to have been competing at the highest level for so long.
Yeah, actually, I missed a couple of opportunities back in 2019, and I lost the top position just in a few minutes of the qualification. So yes, amazing to be here, and finally I'm here after almost 5 years playing this game.
But you've always come close, haven't you?
Yeah.
To qualify.
Yeah. I went in 2019 and I lost in the last 2 minutes of the last race possible to do, and it was kind of an emotional breakdown.
And how do you fit in? Because you're an IT guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
So how do you fit work and play?
Let's see today. It would be interesting to understand how much I can compete with these younger fellas that I'm surrounded about.
Right. Okay. I can't actually see who's sitting. Okay.
For you,
Pass the microphone along. So, our second Italian here, or our third now. Tell me, we're just waiting for us to get the game underway.
Non ho sentito la domanda.
Amos.
Okay.
So, tell me a little bit about your sailing up in Trentino, up in the north of Italy, near Lake Garda.
Yeah, I live in Rovereto, a city in Trentino, Alto Adige.
Okay, and what do you sail normally when you're not eSailing?
Can you repeat?
what do you sail when you're not e-sailing? Which real boats?
I go in laser class standard.
Laser standard. Okay. The person you've just seen walking backstage is our race officer, who again is making sure that everything is fair before we get things underway. So if you could pass the microphone over to Alexander, please. 21 years old, from Brest, maritime engineering student.
Yeah.
Does that help when it comes to sailing?
Well, not really, but I'm splitting my first year in 2 halves, so I can sail and do my studies, so it's perfect for me.
And you've had a pretty good year of e-sailing in the last 12 months, haven't you, with the national championships and so on?
Yeah, in December we sailed the national championship in Paris at the boat show, and I finished second, so it was my best result so far.
And are you feeling confident for today?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Now I need you to pass the microphone back all the way along. I've had a thumbs up from the race officer. Thank you very much. Okay. So, are we ready to go with the race? No. So let's go from one Frenchman to another. There you go. So Gaetan, how does it feel to actually be here at the final?
It feels really great to be in the final here. I played not that much in the second part of the year, but in the first part of the year I played a lot of races, so that's why I managed to qualify in this final. And yeah, I live also in Brest, like Alexander, in the same school of engineering, and I'm very happy to be here finally against all these incredible players.
Now, I know, so with Virtual Regatta, you have inshore racing and you have offshore racing. And I know the offshore racing is so popular in France and with French e-sailors. But you're choosing inshore racing to really hone in on. Why is that?
Because I sailed a lot in real life in little boats like 29ers in the past. And I was happy to see a game which reproduces that kind of regatta intro, and that's why I choose it.
Okay. Well, very best of luck. Bon chance. see how you do. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I feel confident. Yeah.
Okay. Pass the microphone over to Hidde, please, from the Netherlands. So our youngest competitor here at 17, our world champion was 16 last year. So do you think, are you intimidated by the age thing, or does it really make no difference at all?
I don't think it makes any difference. I think, no, I don't think it makes any difference. The age gap is big, but we're all experienced e-sailors, so I think the best one will win.
And what's your favorite e-sailing boat?
It's a laser boat because I also sailed in real life and I like the tactical part of it.
The tactical part. So what can we expect to see in this final, do you think?
I think it will be very close. I think the winner will be decided on the medal race, and that the best one will win.
And have you come with your family? Here?
Oh yeah, I've got my family here.
Where are they?
I've got my parents and my grandparents and my little brother in the
I was going to say, that looks like
room.
your brother. So, well, welcome. Come to enjoy some Spanish sunshine. Okay, well, best of luck to you. If you pass it over to... I can't see him. Roxy Joni. How are you, Jonathan? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm fine. Actually, I really want to sail right now, because right now we continue to be nervous since 3 hours, so it doesn't get better, and yeah.
Yeah, the weight isn't great for your nerves, is it? So, how do you normally play? Sitting in your bedroom, sitting in the living room? What's your preferred place? And do you have a kind of a ritual that you always do when you're playing?
So actually kind of boring, as I'm playing on PC. Normally I sit on a chair like here, so the venue is pretty much the same, but normally no one is watching. Yeah, actually I brought my own notebook here, so the setting is pretty much the same as home.
Yeah, so some people they like a drink. Filippo here likes a cigar whilst they're playing. Do you partake in anything, or do you just focus entirely on the game?
Normally I just hear loud music, just try to focus on myself and drinking some energy or something, because most competitions are really late, and probably for a German it's not used to sail in the late hours, so it's also right now it's quite a good hour for me to sail.
Did you say in Germany you're not used to the late hours? Or you are?
Sorry?
You said about the late hours?
Yeah, like normally the competition starts at 9 or 10 in the evening, and probably normally I go to bed at 10 or 11, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, Germany's in bed by that time, isn't it? Spain is just going out for dinner.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes, like, we have like an international team and try to do some trainings, and it's always the case, like I want to train really during, I don't know, 7 o'clock, and the others are just, I don't know, not even thinking about dinner, and yeah, it's quite tough to find some common times.
Now, talking of bedtime, if you just pass the microphone to Yanis from Greece. Yanis,
Race start.
Huh?
Race start. And I have luck.
Oh, we're starting, are we? Have they started are we into the pre-start? False start. I think they're just testing. This time, Yanis, I was going to ask you, because you've got 2 kids, do you have to wait until they are in bed and asleep before you get some peace and quiet?
Looks like we have started, Alec.
All right, I'll let you put the mic down and play, Yanis. Right, we're going in-game for race number 1 in the F50. So, left-hand side, we've got 9 of the 10 players. All 10 have joined the game now. So the clock is ticking down. We're 20 seconds from the start. Now, with the F50, fastest boat on the eSailing circuit. It's fast, it's furious. This race is only going to last a few minutes, and it's 7 legs. So they've done their jostling for position. It's a reaching start, so they will be at maximum speed. It's a little bit like Formula One, where they go off the grid and then they come to that first bend, and they're funneled into the first bend, and that's what happens here with Arthur Farley and Bart Lambrechts and Hidde of the Netherlands, all coming in at the same time to this first mark. Alex Kay and Gadek in the middle of the fleet.
Yeah, we see Farley went all the way to the boundary, just jiving outside the wind shadow of the two black boats. And it looks like we have Roxy Johnny also in the mix at the moment. But as we see, it's pretty close in these 50-foot boats.
Yep, all with new skins in this first race, so we're just getting our heads around the different looking boats. But it's a Dutch 1-2 at the moment, with Great Britain in third. And really, for the chasing pack, it's all about staying in touch, staying close to the leading boats so that they can't get away. But every move costs you a lot of time in these fast boats.
Yeah, the boats are going maybe 30, 35 knots upwind. And then every tack, you lose so much speed. So it's really good just to go from side to side in these boats.
So it's still Bart Lambrechts who's playing remotely. Hidde, who's here with us, is in second place. Amos of Italy has moved up into third. but it's a real battle for third and fourth. And then we've got Velista 71, and we've just seen Hidde drop down the fleet there.
Yeah, that's how it is with the F50. If you pick the wrong side early on the upwind, then you're kind of stuck on one side for the rest of that upwind. So it's really important reading the wind before you round the gate, and then try picking the good side on the upwind.
Oh, they're all coming into this gate, and no penalties picked up. There's some skillful avoidance going on there as they can choose which mark they want to go round according to tactically where they prefer to be on the course. So we're looking at Arthur Farley. Those white lines are the boundaries. It's the F50. We're using that sort of Sail GP format, which has boundaries. They're not allowed to go across the boundaries. If they do, they pick up a slowdown penalty.
And we see Bart is still leading his race, closely followed by Alex Kay and Farley. And he's chosen to split from the two other guys, so it's going to be really interesting to see who's going to be in the lead when they meet on the next cross.
So a split between the leaders. We'll see, as you said, when they come back together, we'll see who took the right choice. Conditions changing all the time, as they would do on the real waters here in Alicante. Roxy Joni doing his best to close the gap on the leaders, to stay in touch with the leading three.
And we see the wind is very much stronger on the left-hand side looking upwind. And it looks like the wind is also in a left shift at the moment. So it's really about in their 50 that's staying in the strong wind and also trying to read the wind properly. But it definitely is a big plus staying in the bigger breeze.
They've got the focus on Bart Lambrex. And he is now a good 80 meters and growing that lead at the front of the fleet. And Hidde is back in it, isn't he? In second place. Alex Kay of France in third. Time is running out for the stragglers to close the gap and try and move up the fleet.
At the moment, it looks like Hidde just crossed on port tack, and now he has starboard tack advantage, so it looks like he might be able to hold on to this second place, but decides to jibe immediately around the mark. Probably going to jibe again very soon to try cover up Alex Kay and defend his second place.
So we're on board with Hidde. Bart Lambrex is well clear. He's got one more turn and then he's heading towards the finish line. So the battle really is between second, third and fourth as Bart Lambrex of the Netherlands heads towards the finish line, followed by his compatriot Hidde. And it looks like those two have done enough to seal first and second. There's a long way back to Alex Kay in third. A round of applause for our Dutch winners. And for Alex Kay, who takes third. Then it's Arthur Farley, Velista 71, Roxy Joni, Amos, Alberto, and Gadek bringing up the rear. And so, there's our winner of race number one. Give us a wave, Bart. I don't know if you can hear us, actually. So he's now looking to move on to the next race. We're going to have quite a fast turnaround. Now we're up and running with the game, and a big thumbs up from Bart Lambrecht. He gets the 1 point for this race. Hidde gets 2. It's a low-scoring point system, so they'll be awarded points according to their positions. And there's confirmation of the results with Greece 9 in 10th place. Interesting stats?
Yeah, I think we saw at the first reaching mark, we had the two Dutch sailors in 1 and 2, and they managed to hold on. Hidde was a bit slow on the first upwind, losing a couple of spots, but managed to claw his way back into the race.
Look at that maximum speed in a sailing boat, 48.4 knots. That's awesome, and that will be probably the fastest you'll see in the competition. I think we can move those on, and that's basically telling you the overtakes and how the positions changed throughout. And Bart really on that third leg, taking control of the race. Right, so wherever you're watching, if you're in Alicante or if you're in the race village, then come and join us. We're next to the big gaming pavilion, and just walk to where you can hear the noise and come and join us here with our live audience. And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, on the various social channels of World Sailing and Virtual Regatta, leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching and how you're enjoying it. And you can get in touch as well on all the social networks, on Twitter and Instagram, and all the usual places. So, first blood goes to Holland.
Yep.
First and second to the Netherlands.
We might have another Dutch win. Hida's favorite boat.
Hida's favorite boat, it's the Laser. It's a straightforward upwind, downwind course. And we'll be out on the water as soon as the race management give us the thumbs up and tell us that they're ready to go. So with the first race, you surprised by the margin of victory?
Well, I think it's very telling that these are the 10 best eSailors we have this year. And nearly all races we do are this close when we are all top players in the races. So it really just comes down to who can nail the start. And especially in the F50, if you're ahead from the reaching mark, then it's very easy to control the race from there.
And confirmation of those results. We'll show you this more and more often, and as we work our way through the competition, those numbers are going to fill up and it's going to get more. There'll be more and more at stake. So really, for the guys in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, it's just about keeping control. Without a discard, you know, it's quite easy to close that gap or lose your advantage.
Yeah, it's very easy to lose your advantage. So it's very important that you try just be consistent and not do any stupid things in the races.
Okay, so the next race is the Laser, sailed across the world. Of course, one of the most popular boats and an Olympic class since 1996. And what we'll be talking about, I imagine, once we get the race going, is pumping. We'll explain that once we see it. But with 50 seconds to go, let's just focus a little bit on this pre-start.
Yeah,
so
another interesting thing will be the penalty start.
The penalty start. Okay, well, we'll see if anyone chooses to do that. It's something that you can only do in eSailing. It's not something that you would do in normal sailing. And basically, it's picking up a penalty as you cross the start line too early, and then you come back and you work your way up the.
So you start.
We'll talk about it when we see it. So let's just see what's going on here. 20 seconds, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 of the 10 boats, with the other 3 just coming in to view, and we can see Hida and Bart and Alex Kay there already picking up penalties, and now it is all go. It's the second race of the 2022 World Championship Grand Final is underway, with these 3 boats choosing the pin end of the line, staying on the left side of the course. The others splitting seem to be going right.
Yeah, it looked like Farley has done a pretty good job at winning the pin end in the start, and now we see the pumping is starting to happen. And the Laser, it is just an interesting boat in eSailing. It's quite slow and it's quite hard to maneuver if you haven't nailed the way to do it. So it is a boat where a bad tack can be very costly to your race.
Top left corner of the screen, our mini-map, or radar, whatever you want to call it. You can see the windsocks, the red and white striped windsocks at the top. But where the water is darkening, and you can see it on the main screen as well, that is where the wind is strongest, and that is where they have to aim for. But it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it, strategically, because aim for the dark patches, and by the time you get there, it might have lightened up.
Yeah, and we're still early in the regatta, so you also don't want to go on split on one side when everybody else is going to another side, you might want to save that for later if you have to do a comeback in order to win the championship.
So it's the first upwind leg of this first laser race in the World Championship Grand Final. Filippo Lanfranchi, we're on board with him. Looking nicely placed as he approaches the top mark for the first time. But you can see Bart Lambrechts just off to his shoulder. Now he comes in to challenge him.
It's going to be a very close cross. Nice work from Bart, just trying to keep clear. But it looks like they've dumped down on the ranking at the moment in 9th and 10th place. So it looks like we're having a right-hand shift coming in on the race course. And we also see it's a bit darker on the water on that side as well.
Yeah, so the laser maximum speeds of about 4.5 knots upwind. We'll see it go a little bit faster, about twice, well, more than that, about 11 knots is their maximum downwind speed if they get the right conditions. So already you get a feel for the different sort of atmosphere in these races according to the boat type and boat class that is competing.
Looks like we're still very close on the fleet on this on the first upwind. We've been going for 3 minutes and it's still, they're still neck and neck. It looks like he's going to have to take on a penalty, or he might just make the tack in front of Farley and Roxigiani.
First upwind mark, and Alex Kay of France is in the lead, ahead of Greece 9, and then comes Hidde, another good performance so far from the Dutchman. So it's France, Greece, Netherlands, and Alex Farley in 4th. Watching Velista coming in, sneaking in on the insides.
And then we have Bart on last place now, but he has plenty of time to try and catch up. And as we see, the wind shadow is also quite strong in this boat, so you're really trying your best just to keep clear of the other boats and try to go as fast as possible.
We'll talk more and more about the wind shadow as the racing unfolds, because different boats have different sized wind shadows and they have a real effect on the outcome of the race. So already you can see this leg much faster than the upwind leg. They're traveling faster downwind as you'd expect, but it's still Alex Kay out in front, and he's picked up a useful margin of about 30 to 40 meters. Alex Farley, though, has moved into 2nd, ahead of Hidde, and Greece 9 in 4th.
Alex looks to be in a nice controlling position. Farley tacked right behind him, following him, and he's also on the same tack as the majority of the other boats. So it looks very good for him at the moment, but the wind shadow will play in on the downwind.
I couldn't quite see what happened to Bart Lambrechts, but he picked up a penalty at that bottom gate. I'd have thought it was an unforced penalty, I'm not sure. But at the front, it's still so close. And that, 40-meter lead for Alex Kay has now been swallowed up. And Roxigiani and Hidde have closed in on him again.
Yeah, and as the boat is one of the slower ones, you really have a lot of time to play the wind shifts and try maneuver your boat the fastest way up this windward course. We see Velista 71 tacking just below Jonathan Koch in the pink boat. And we have Green 9 and Alberto all the way on the left-hand side, which doesn't look too good at the moment. It looks like the wind is coming in from the right-hand side with a bit more pressure. So at the moment it looks quite good for the boats on the right-hand side of the race course.
So Alex Kay of France still just holding on to the lead in this second race of the World Championship final. But hot on his heels is Arthur Farley of Great Britain, 14 meters behind. That's no distance at all. There's just one leg to go, remember. Gadek also close, and 3rd and 4th and 5th. There's very little in it. They're neck and neck. If you're new to the game, those white dotted lines are what we call the ley lines. The easiest way to explain it is that it's the most efficient route to the mark, as Alex Kay takes his final maneuver on that ley line, heading into the top mark for the final time.
Looks like it's going to be very close, only a 4-meter lead at the moment, or if they're just going to have to duck behind, and he's just closely following him. But he's also pressured by Hide and Gadek, so it's going to be an exciting downwind.
Well, penalty for Velista there. I think did he hit the mark?
Yeah, I think it looked like he was trying to squeeze in between the two other boats, and he might have just gone a bit too low out of the tack and sailed straight into the mark.
As Amos heads towards that spreader mark, the focus has got to be now on the leading boats, because this is where the wind shadow comes into play. And well, you've got to wonder if Alex Kay had enough advantage starting that downwind leg, but something happened because Farley's dropped about 50 meters behind.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but it could be that Hide has just been covering Farley as much as possible, slowing him down and letting Alex Kay just sail off in the distance.
Well, that is a huge drop in speed and distance for Arthur Farley of Great Britain. So Alex Kay of France in his first World Championship final is about to cross the line, and he takes victory in the first of these laser races. So victory for Alex Kay of France. But look at the battle for second. Arthur Farley sneaking in at the committee boat end takes second ahead of Hide of the Netherlands. Another good result for the Dutchman.
And a very close finish for
Roxy and Gadek now coming in. Greece and Alberto, Greece 9, and sneaking in just there with the green boat is Amos, I think, or was it Bart Lambrex? We'll just double check there. But there is our winner. Give us a thumbs up. You can smile now. Chewing gum to release the pressure. Alex Kay, confirmation of his victory. Arthur Farley took second, Hide third, Gadek fourth, Roxy of Germany in fifth, Velista sixth, Bart Lambrex seventh in the end, getting across the line ahead of Alberto. Greece 9, who started so well, finished 9th, and then Amos of Italy in 10th.
Yeah, he ended up on the wrong side on the first upwind. And if everybody else is on the good side, then you have a lot of meters to catch back up, which wasn't possible for him in this race.
And there, once again, you can see how important it is to get ahead early. Alex Kay, after that first leg, took the lead and stayed out in front. So well done to Alex. And that is confirmation of where we stand then, with Alex Kay out in front thanks to his third place in the F50. And then it's Hide in second and Arthur Farley in third. But it's very early days and not much separating those leading boats. Wow, it's going to be fascinating, isn't it? If
the races are going to be this close every race, then we might have a nail-biting finish.
So, an impressive performance from Alex Kay in his first World Championship final.
Yeah, he's showing after these first two races that he's pretty consistent. Hopefully he can keep this up and still be in the lead after 12 races. But yeah, it's looking good at the moment.
Far East is next. One of the lesser known boats in eSailing, a really popular, the real thing is a really popular racing keelboat in Asia. It's generally sailed by crews of 2 to 5, but obviously it's solo in eSailing. And it's a little bit faster upwind than the J70, but with the keelboat, it's the biggest boat we've seen so far. Tactics have got to be a little bit different.
Yeah, the boat is a bit slower in maneuvering than the J70. It's one of the newer boats in Virtual Regatta, and I think it's also a very interesting boat, as the wind shadow is also quite big, so it makes for some close downwind racing, and you really gotta be able to place yourself well on the upwind.
Okay. So here we go then. With the pre-starts, the clock will go red as it hits 1 minute to the start of our third race in this World Championship Grand Final, with just 4 points separating the leading 4 boats after 2 races. So still everything to race for, and I think that is going to be a phrase I'm going to use quite often over the next hour or so, because I think it's going to be close right up to the medal race. All 10 boats are in, and we've got one of the French boats here. What are they trying to do right now?
So now they're just fighting for position. They're all trying to get the best start possible. It looks like the wind is in a right shift, so I think we're going to see a bunch of boats at the committee boat end, as we see a penalty for Hide and Amos, probably going for what looks like a pen start. But a good start from Green 9 and Alberto, really close start here. And Roxy Johnny also got out well in clean air. So another really close start, and it's going to be all about the first tack, and if you're able to tack by yourself or you're forced to tack.
Well, at the moment, most of that fleet choosing to head off into the same direction, and you can see why. The wind is getting stronger and stronger, and as the course, the water gets darker and darker, and we're going to see them accelerate upwind here.
And it looks like we're still in a big right-hand shift. So it looked to be a one-sided race, but it looks like most of them have started tacking to the right-hand side, probably looking for a bit more breeze. As in Virtual Regatta, there's generally more breeze on the right-hand side of a wind shift, looking upwind.
Good knowledge.
So that's why you'll see many boats. It looks like they're sailing out of the breeze, but they're actually sailing into more breeze. So it's a fine line where you have to tack just before you exit the wind.
A lot of e-sailors watching at home learning from these tips, and they'll be writing that down across there. No penalties. There's plenty of space given between those 2 boats on the left-hand side. Roxy Joni going clear. He's now crossing all the way to that left ley line. And it's great to see the fleet from this angle, from the sort of the helicopter shot, as it would be in real life. And Roxy Joni now heading along that left
Looks
ley
like
line.
Hide is in a very strong position at the moment on starboard tack. He's able to force the other boats to tack onto to starboard as well. But he's choosing to do a small tack just to cover what looks like to be Farley. Probably going to tack here in the ley line, try be first around this mark. So it's always dangerous when you're approaching the windward mark on port tack.
Penalty for Alex Kay, and we're going to have some more penalties here, I think. Yes, our leader, Greece 9, picks one up against Hida. Roxy Joni penalty, Amos penalty, Bart Lambrecht's penalty. It's a very congested fleet, and the boats are so much slower and more difficult to maneuver than the boats we've seen, like the F50 and the Laser that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and looks like Hida is just clear of the wind shadow, and he has probably max breeze on this downwind, so it looks like he's able to gain a couple of free meters here, and he's also showing that he's very consistent in these first 3 races.
Greece 9 going wide to the left, but has now rejoined, come back in and rejoined the rest of the fleet. You can see how much quicker they are. Maximum speeds in this boat downwind 18.5 knots. And our leader, Hida, once again, he is storming this final right now. He's out in front, but look at the advantage of almost 100 meters from the chasing boats.
Yeah, when you get away on the downwind, all the other boats, they'll be slowing down each other with their wind shadow. So he's really in a very strong position at the moment, looking to snatch this victory in race 3.
So for Hidde now, out in front, 45, 50-meter advantage. What does he have to do to secure the victory at this? Well, we're just over the halfway stage of the race.
I think he's going to try to place himself between the mark and his competitors, trying just to maybe follow them, or maybe he sees a wind shift and he's going to go for that. But at the moment, it looks like he's just going to go to the left-hand side and just do a simple route to the windward mark.
Alberto placed second, his best position so far in this final. But can he hold on to it? The 22-year-old from the city of Rovereto in northern Italy. He's already slipped down to third. He's neck and neck with Greece 9.
Yeah, it looks like Alberto and Greece 9, they're going to be pretty close to this top mark. It looks like the wind is shifting a bit more to the left, so Alberto's going to be able to bear away and speed up his boat, maybe go a bit faster than Green 9.
Hidde out on this left-hand side. Got Alberto to his right. And there you get a better sense of distance between the leader and the chasing boats. And that is a crucial advantage for Hidde, because the wind shadows, they head downwind, is 32 meters. So as he goes to the spreader mark, if he can keep that 50-meter advantage, he should be clear on the final downwind leg.
Nice job from Roxy Johnny, just squeezing past the two yellow boats.
Another penalty for Alex Kay. Picked one up in this position on the previous upwind leg, and that slows him down. So if you're new to the game, how do the penalties work? The computer just slows you down for a number of seconds, and then you can pick up speed again. But by that stage, everyone has just whistled past you. There, you can see the wind shadow. It's the white on the water. It's 32 meters on this Far East keel boat. But more importantly, look at the top of the screen. Look at those orange sails of Hidde. He's held on to that advantage. In fact, he's doubled his advantage on this downwind leg, and he's heading for victory.
Yeah, he's done a really good job in this race. From the start, he went to the right-hand side, wind shifted to the right. He had a lift all the way to the windward mark.
And the 17-year-old from the Netherlands, Hidde, with his traveling fans, crosses the finish line to take victory in this third race of the World Championship final. Alberto is second, his best result so far. Greece 9 fighting back up the leaderboard in third. Velista 71, Gadek. Roxy Joni coming across. Now Alex Kay and all his penalties. Arthur Farley and Amos in 10th place. So there is our winner. Hidde, look at the camera, give us a wave. And a big smile from him, and that is going to make a huge difference to the leaderboard when we get to that.
Shortest distance sailed as well.
It's all about kind of speed and distance, isn't it?
Yep. So a really clean race from him. Now he's done a 2 second place, third place, and a first place. So I think he should be our new leader.
Yeah, well done to Hidde. There is confirmation that he has taken the lead from Alex Kay. But what a difference in the points. 7-point advantage because of Alex Kay's 9th placed finish. Arthur Farley finishing 8th. That sees him on 14 points. Bart Lambrecht's in 4th. Velista 71 in 5th. But the points really pretty still pretty close all the way down to 10th place.
Yeah, it's almost like we've had a swap. So the guys on the top had a bad race now, and the guys on the bottom had a good race. So we're still really close from 2nd to 10th place.
Yes, it is. It's all coming together nicely. 3 races, though. It's a bit early to be talking about champions and to be talking about anyone taking a real advantage. We've got a total of 12 races, including the final one. That's the medal race. And right up next is the 49er, the skiff from the Olympic classes, one of the fastest boats in the Olympic Games. And we will be racing a standard upwind, downwind course on the waters of Alicante.
Probably one of my favorite boats in the game.
Why is that?
It's fast, and it's not too fast like the F50. It's very controllable, and the wind shadow is also, I think, one of the more balanced ones. You don't get like fully stopped when somebody's covering you, and you can really just play the rules of Virtual Regatta in that boat. So definitely, in my opinion, one of the better boats.
What do you think the secret is to come away with an overall victory here? I mean, what's Hidde doing at the moment that the others are not?
I think he's starting very well. It seems like he's been in the top 3 after every start, and then he tends to stay out of trouble. If we had a penalty counter, I think he would probably be the one with less penalties at the moment. But I think it's just...
Have you been surprised actually by how tame the pre-starts have been? Normally there's a lot of fighting and jostling for position on these start lines.
Yeah, I think especially when we're only 10 boats on the line, it makes it a bit less chaotic than if you're 20. The line's a bit smaller, there's not a lot of room, and these guys are really experienced eSailors, so they know what can happen in a start. If you're too close, you're going to get a penalty. So I think in these races, people tend to stay a bit further away from each other than in a 20-boat race.
Now the 49er, so far, we've had 3 boats, and the downwind has been, well, not the F50, but certainly the previous 2 boats, the Far East and the Laser. Downwind has been crucial. It's upwind that they can win it in the 49er, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think it's more in the upwind in this boat, but of course there's still the downwind. If you find the right wind gust, then you're going to be zooming away from the other boats. But yeah, definitely the upwind. You really got to play the shifts and try read the wind as best as possible.
Okay, we're just waiting for them to reset to get the next race underway. Apart from Hidde, who's impressed you most so far?
I think Alex K has been doing a really good job. He's done a 3rd, a 1st, and a 9th. Of course, it's a bit unlucky to have done a 9th place, but I think he's showing a good consistency at the moment.
Yeah, we're just waiting for a connection issue to be sorted out. I think it's Arthur actually who's got an issue. He's playing on a mini iPad. He says it's because he can kind of with one hand he can get right across the screen.
I used to have an iPad mini. I actually kind of miss it now. Now I have an iPad Pro. The screen's a bit larger, but yeah, I think it's probably a very good size tablet. If you want to get a tablet for eSailing, I would definitely recommend an iPad mini-sized one.
Simply because of the physical, it's just physically easier to use.
Yeah, it's not too small, and you're holding it like you hold a tablet, and you can reach the top of the screen, the bottom of the screen, the middle of the screen.
So a lot of different techniques, and everyone seems to have their own opinion, really, as to what the best technique is, don't you think? I'm just thinking for people watching at home, and they're thinking, oh, you know, how can I make the grand final next year? What should I use to play with? There's no simple answer. What would your advice be?
Well, I think you definitely got to try out each device, playing on your phone, playing on a tablet, playing on the computer. Some of the top guys play in 2D all the time. So it's a very, I think, personalized experience. So you just got to find what works for you and then spend a lot of hours practicing. Most of these guys have been playing for a couple of years.
Yes, at least. And it really took off as a sport. It really took off. I'm talking about the inshore racing now, with thousands of new players during the COVID pandemic, because obviously everybody was stuck at home and
Yeah.
sailors were unable to get out onto the water, and it was a perfect opportunity to actually do some sailing and practice your skills, which it is good for.
Yeah, well, we saw in 2020, Joan Cardona won, and the year after, he
Joan
won.
Cardona, who then went on to compete at Tokyo at the
Yeah,
Olympics
won
for
bronze
Spain.
medal. So the game is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're an Olympian, just a regular sailor in the sailing club. It really is for everyone.
Well, I know they're trying to sort Arthur's connection out, but he started playing, I know, waiting for breeze at Olympic-style regattas around the world. So that's how I think a lot of the top sailors have got into
Yeah,
the
it's a nice game for time kill when there's no wind.
And by the way, if you're interested in competing in the ocean race, you can do it on 2 levels. As you know, there are stopovers, and you can compete in the E-Cup, the E-Stopover Cup, and that's inshore racing, or you can compete in the offshore round the world challenge as well. So you've got plenty to choose from.
Yeah, looks like we're in the race.
Yes, we are.
And we see there's a player with number 9, and that is Arthur Farley.
Okay, so all 10 are in the race, and this is the 49er. We're going to see the 49er twice in this final. This is our first vision of it. 50 seconds to go, and we'll keep an eye on the upwind leg, because that could be the one that makes all the difference. You can gain a good few meters on your opponents going upwind. So let's have a look at the start. What are we watching here? This is, so Alex Kay picks up a penalty. It's too early to make a difference, though. Got one of the Dutch boats.
Just waiting.
Yeah, looks like he was revving his engine there, isn't it?
It looks like there's some breeze on the right-hand side at the moment, but the left looks like the breeze could also be shifting left. But
These guys are early.
A lot of boats crossing the line early to try start on port-hand tack and just speed up and sail out to the right-hand side. But
so the idea is you cross the line, then you cross it back, working the penalty out of the system, but you're going faster than the others because you're heading downwind. I think that's the idea. 10 seconds gone. Velista 71, a good start from him. At last, the former world champion begins to fire on all cylinders. Greece 9 in second, Alberto in third. All really close at the moment and all bunched in the center of the course.
yeah, it looks like Roxy Johnny's in a bit of a bad spot here. 3 wind shadows slowing him down, but it looks like you really just gotta have to go to the left-hand side at the moment with the breeze coming in on a nice dark patch here.
So we've got Velista 71 and Greece 9 there challenging.
Arthur Farley in the lead. A nice 30-meter lead already after just 1 minute.
Yeah, Arthur Farley out in front. Early days, though. And looking, so a long way back to Amos and Bart Lambrechts. We're on board with our leader. There you can see him heading up to the top mark for the first time. Still some distance to go with 1 minute and 20 seconds into the race. But already building up an advantage. And you can, if you play it right upwind, you can get a good 30-meter advantage on your opponent.
Yeah, especially in the 49er. I think the wind shadow is a bit stronger on the upwind than the downwind. So if you start at the pin end and the wind is to the left, then you have a really good chance at just really building your lead for the downwind. And
so
it looks like Arthur Farley has been able to
Farley
do
of
that.
Great Britain in front. He storms to that top mark. You can see how they are beginning to speed up around the spreader mark. Penalty for Gadek of France. That's going to slow him down. That gives Velista the chance to move into 4th place. Gadek still waiting to work out the penalty. Hidder in 7th, Roxy Joni, Bart Lambrechts and Amos in 10th. As the leaders round that spreader mark, the Arthur Farley is off at the top of the screen heading towards that ley line. full 75 meters clear of Greece 9. A good performance at the moment from the Greek.
Yeah, and Farley's been able to, I think, get away and should be cruising home now. But it looks like it's still very close at the back with a lot of the boats bunched up. And Hida is just trying to fight his way back into this race. And we also see the wind is very far to the left now, so it's going to be interesting to see how many are going to go for the right-hand gate and attack immediately, and who's going to go for the left-hand gate and just try their luck and split from the rest of the fleet.
Leading pair take the right-hand gate. There goes Greece 9. Alex Kay behind them in third. Valista moves up at that bottom gate. So a good downwind leg for him, but our leader is Arthur Farley with Greece 9 in second place. You can see him calmly sailing as Bart Lambrex tries to move up the fleet. And right now, it's a battle for 8th, 9th and 10th between the stragglers.
Farley's doing a good job of just following the rest of the fleet and just covering his position. And we see Green 9 also just trying to tacking away from Farley's wind shadow there. It looked like he was just trying to bear away to get out of it.
Yeah, so much going on the course, isn't there, that you've got to keep an eye on as an e-sailor.
Yeah, luckily for them, it's not as chaotic as being in a 20-boat fleet. And as you see now, this racing is close, but when you're 20 boats, it's even more hectic, especially in the mark roundings.
3 of the sailors in this room were part of the Nations Cup final. That's a team event. We saw that final in early December between Great Britain and France. It was won by the French. Both our French competitors here were part of that winning team. And look at the advantage for Arthur Farley. One more leg to go. He's heading round that spreader mark and off to the finish line with an advantage that, unless something drastic goes wrong, should give him the race. It's a penalty for Roxy Joni, and that is going to cost him dear because he hasn't really got much time to make up for that penalty with just the final leg to go. Arthur Farley out in front then. Greece 9 and Alex Kay. Will we see Alex Kay close the gap on the Greek? Do you think he can catch him?
It looks like they're a bit too far apart, and it also looks like Alex is pretty safe from Alberto, but there's only 8-10 meters separating Alberto and Valista, so I think they're going to have a really close battle.
Arthur Farley, one of the favourites for the championship title. It's his 3rd World Championship final in a row after 21 and 2020. And now he crosses the line to take his first victory of this final. Will it be 3rd time lucky at the end of the competition? Greece 9 takes 2nd. Here comes Alex Kay in 3rd. And Alberto getting a good result. Valista sneaking in. It's Italy coming up now with Gadek sneaking in as well in 6th place, ahead of Amos, Bart Lambrex and Roxy Joni.
A very costly penalty for Roxy Joni at the windward mark.
Very costly indeed. So there's our winner of race number 4. A round of applause for him. Totally focused on the race and what is coming next. So, how will that affect the overall scoreboard? We'll see in a moment. 13 knots, the best average speed, and the maximum speed as well went to Arthur Farley.
Yeah, so it shows that a lot of the guys who win these races, they are just able to keep the highest average speed. But that also is that's probably also why they're staying out the wind shadows from everybody else. Because once you get away, there's no wind shadow stopping you, and the rest are all bunched up still.
So Arthur Farley moves up into 2nd place thanks to that victory. Hidde still holding on, but just by 1 point now. And Alex Kay in third, again, 1 point further back. So, wow, 2 points separating first and third. So, I think the microphone is somewhere down there, Hidde. I don't know if you can get hold of it. Can they pass you the mic so we can just have a quick word with you before we start the next race, which is in the NACRA 17? No. I think it's at the far end. So, Yanis, have you got the microphone? Could you pass it along, please? Thank you very much. Thanks, Tom. So, out in front after 4 races, are you surprised?
I'm not surprised I'm out in... Working?
So, yeah.
I'm not surprised I'm out in front. I didn't expect to be in first at the beginning already, but I hope to keep fighting for the top 3 position.
So, is it just working for you today? You know how some days everything just happens?
No, I knew I was what I'm capable of, and I just hope to keep fighting like this in every race.
Okay, so what's the secret to staying in front then? What are you going to do?
Having control over the fleet, and yeah, just keep covering so they don't pass you.
All right, Hidde, thank you very much. I'm going to let you refocus because we're going to start the next race. Thanks very much. It's also a little bit unsettling asking to do interviews in between the races, but we are almost ready to go with the NACRA 17, our first of 2 races in the NACRA. Your favorite boat?
Not my favorite. My 49ers.
Yeah, sorry. But the NACRA 17 also fast and foiling.
Yep.
And we've got 50 seconds to the start now. So what, on this particular boat, which is so fast, what are they trying to do in the pre-start?
So you want to try carry out as much speed as possible. And then you, of course, want to stay out of penalties. We see the start line is very short for these a bit bigger boats or wider boats than the 49er. So I think it's going to be a bit cramped on the starting line with 22 seconds to go. We do see they're starting a bit further away from the line this time and just going to try speed up.
Although it's not a reaching start, it's an upwind, downwind race. It's a tactic we see in the F50, isn't it? Where they start quite far back and try and pick up speed. So penalties all round. Is this going to work? They go. Start their penalty start in this 5th race of the World Championship final. I can hear some shouts and some sighs and some noises from behind me. You can just feel the tension from the sailors. But Gadek is out in front, Arthur Farley second, Bart Lambrecht. So good starts from them. Not so good from our overall leader, Hidde.
No, it's not looking too good at the moment, but there's still plenty of racing to do. We've only done 30 seconds. But at the moment, it doesn't look too good. But we do see a lot of tacks at the moment. They're all trying to get out on the left-hand side, just trying to get that little bit of extra speed to gain 0.2, maybe 0.3 knots.
A lot more movement across the course in this boat, a lot more crosses. And there's one.
Very close.
Skimming through. Alberto in shot.
Looks very relaxed.
Very relaxed, playing one-handed. He's on a computer, one of the few that is on a computer. And our leader, Bart Lambrecht, Greece.
It looks like he's just trying to force Green Knight to tack, so he's able to. It looks like he has managed to push him down into his wind shadow. But in the Nacra, you can actually just like try luff your boat up if you're close to the ley line. So you could just go a bit upwind, back to best VMG, a bit upwind, back to best VMG. So you can climb up the ley line. It looks like Green 9 has actually managed to do that and is now in the lead of this race.
Yeah, penalty though for Gadek. I think he hit the mark there. And Alberto somehow slipped back into 10th place behind Hida. So Hida making up one position. Yanis Kokanis of Greece out in front now. He's playing on an iPad. Bart Lambrecht's playing on a phone. And Arthur Farley playing on that iPad mini. So everyone in the top three choosing a different system. Alex Kay on a phone as well, I believe.
Very close at the moment, only 10 meters separating. Just trying to jibe on each other, trying to slow each other down with their wind shadow. Looks like Green 9 has suffered a bit, and Bart has managed to overtake him on this for the first downwind. Penalty for Green 9. It looked like Bart Lambrecht just made a bit too much room to the mark, and Green 9 thought he could squeeze in, and he shut him out just as he was trying to go behind him on the mark.
Looks like this might be the race that Hida will want to forget. You could say it's the commentator's curse. Shouldn't have done the interview. But that's the beauty of being here, face to face. We get to talk to them and get their reactions. So this is the battle for the lead. There's three leading boats. Bart Lambrecht, Arthur Farley, and Greece 9. Very little in it.
Still looks like it's all to play for in the middle of the field. Looks like they're all trying just to stay out of each other's wind shadow. And Ballista is doing a great job at just trying to defend his current third place. Arthur Farley has also done a nice comeback. Pretty close on the top now. Looks like Bart is just trying to keep him from tacking. Both now on starboard tack.
So here we go, the fleet coming up to this mark. And it's Bart Lambrecht and Arthur Farley. And I was wondering if we were going to see some penalties, but they've kind of spread out a little bit. There's breathing space between them now. Hida and Alberto bringing up the rear. Now off they go, downwind towards the finish line. Bart Lambrecht out in front. The Nacra 22-meter wind shadow, so potentially Farley could still catch him, but he's running out of time and he's running out of racetrack because there is the finish line, and it is going to be close between the Briton and the Dutchman. Both of them sort of Olympic sailors. Bart Lambrecht sailed a 49er in Tokyo at the Olympic Games. He knows this boat very, very well, and he's showing his experience by crossing the finish line and taking victory for the Netherlands. Arthur Farley second, Greece 9 was in there, Valista third, Amos in fifth, and our overall leader Hida well down the fleet. So confirmation then that it was victory, and look how close it was between Bart Lambrecht and Arthur Farley.
Yeah, another very close race, also in the faster boats, and it just shows the level of these eSailors. They are some of the best in the world, and I think they're really showcasing that at the moment. And we see a pretty solid race from Bart Lambrecht and Arthur Farley, doing a good job at just climbing the ranking throughout the race.
So there we are, confirmation of where they stand after 5 races.
We have a new leader, Arthur Farley in the lead with 17 points.
So Arthur Farley takes the lead from the Dutchman Hida and now has a 6-point lead. But, well, we've seen that lead change at least 3 times in this competition. Yeah, it's turning out to be exactly what you predicted, which was close and exciting. Can't wait to to get to that medal race and see how it all pans out. Well, we are almost at the halfway stage. We've got one more race to be race number 6 to take us to that halfway point, and we will go out on the water as soon as they're ready for that. So I think a really important victory for Bart Lambrechts, because that has seen him, with his second win, move up into 5th place.
Yeah, he started with a win, and then he had some tough races, a 7th, 2 7th places and a 9th, and now another 1st place. But we're going into the offshore racer.
Yeah, the biggest, heaviest boats in inshore racing, so you have to sail it quite differently. It takes a long time to maneuver it. I imagine we're going to see a different sort of pre-start from the one we've just seen in the Nacra. What do you make of this boat? Do you like it?
I think it's all right. The wind shadow is it's not wide, but it's very long. So it's very hard to try sneak away from the pack. If somebody sets their sight on you, they're probably gonna keep you in their wind shadow. So I think it's an okay boat.
Yeah.
I think maybe Alberto. I think he's really good in this boat. He's won a lot of races in this boat.
Here we go then, and Gadek is the 10th. The guy who's been called number 9, number 10 there, confusingly. At the bottom of that list is actually Gadek. There's just some logging in issues that have caused that. But that's no big deal. 50 seconds to go, and some spinnakers out.
Yeah, and they have to remember that it takes 5 seconds to take the spinnaker down. It's the second longest time in virtual regatta. I think the Mocha is 7 seconds. So you also gotta calculate on when you hoist the kite at the windward mark.
Yep.
You don't want to be too early or too late. But 20 seconds to go. We see them lining up at the committee boat.
Some early penalties there, one for Hidda, one for Alex Kay. And they're all really quite early. And they're trying this penalty start, which surprises me in a boat so slow to maneuver. I think we're going to see lots of penalties. Not the cleanest of starts by the fleet. 4 penalties. One for Amos and Alex Kay and Bart Lambrechts and Greece 9. And it's going to take them time to recover. But being a slower boat, there is plenty of time to catch up lost distance.
And we see a good start from Balista. It looks like he won the pin end and is now able to tack over to port tack and be in the lead. It also looks like he has a nice left-hand wind shift just helping him up to the windward mark.
So we were watching our overall leader. We're now with Balista 71 in his...
Well, unfortunately, a penalty for him. I think he just tacked right in front of Roxy Johnny and got himself a penalty. But a new leader, Gadek, and Hidda is back in the top.
Important for Balista to get consistency going, because he's in 4th. He's still within touching distance of winning this World Championship. So it's still wide open. And consistency is key, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When there's no discard race, it's really important that you stay out of trouble and you keep your results consistent. But of course, 10 players are all trying to do that. So you really gotta be good at placing your boat in the fleet.
Now, we're coming up really close up to this top mark. Yes, the maneuvers might be slower, but it also means that it might be penalties here, because it is really close. And there's the first one picked up by the Dutchman Hidda. Alberto picks one up. Arthur Farley picks a penalty up.
Kite is up from Gadek. Looks like some right-hand breeze. We're going to have one jibe into the gate.
As they come around this spreader, just watch, because they launch the Jenica as quickly as possible, because that's the best trick for catching the boat in front, for creating that wind shadow as quickly as possible.
And here we see he's 72 meters in front, but he's still covered by the wind shadow. So it's really tough to get away from the pack in this boat.
But he's done really well, because we normally see the advantage of the leader really drop down. We see the numbers on that left side dropping really quickly, but he's held on. So at the halfway mark, Gadek of France is out in front with a good advantage of about 40 meters, chooses this left-hand mark and then heads off to the right. And the rest, well, they follow Alex Kay and Hidde. So it's France 1-2 right now, with the Netherlands in third.
And we see it's still very close also on the back. 5 boats nearly rounding at the same time, and 3 boats are unlucky to grab themselves a penalty.
Yeah, penalty for Arthur Farley, our overall leader, dropping well down the fleet now, as is Velista 71.
Looks like Gadek is doing a very, very good job. It just looks like he's just sailing his own race, trying to stay in the better breeze and extend his lead.
Yeah, Gadek, who's 7th overall. If he manages to hold on to this, we've still got, a third of the race to go. So still plenty of time for him to slip up. But if he can hold on to that lead, I think we'll see him move up the leaderboard. So this yellow boat is our leader. He hits that ley line. He now maneuvers, final tack into the top mark. Alex Kay right behind him, really being chased by Roxy Joni though. Now this pink boat, where's he going to go?
Looks like he's going to have to duck behind 2 boats.
And that changes the order of the leaders, with Alex Kay slipping back behind Hidde, or Roxy Joni. I should have matched the pink sail with the pink t-shirt, really, shouldn't I? Should have got that by now. So they're heading towards the finish line, and I don't think anyone can catch Gadek, large wind shadow or not.
Yeah, for the 3 following boats, it's really just about trying to hold your position now. They know that, or Alex Kay knows that there are two boats right behind him that are able to take his wind and try to overtake him. And it looks like he might be able to escape. He's playing it well. He is scared of Roxy Johnny's wind shadow, and he's just trying to play them on each other.
So Gadek of France crosses the finish line with a really convincing victory over his compatriot Alex Kay, who makes it a France 1-2 in this race. Then once again, the youngster from the Netherlands takes 3rd place ahead of Germany's Roxy Joni.
So
Bart Lambrex is still down there. Greece 9 crosses the line. Alberto.
Looks like Farley will be able to just sneak in ahead of 3 boats, which is very important for him, as he is our current leader.
A little dance from Roxy Joni, celebrating that final position. So congratulations to our winner there. Give us a wave. Gadek from France.
So best average speed and shortest distance sailed is, I think, what we've seen for all the races is what it takes to win.
Yeah, it's not just about picking up the puffs, is it? It's about keeping that speed consistent. And there you can see the overtaking that happened at the back, but the leading 4, once they were out in front, was just about maintaining those positions. So what does that mean to the overall leaderboard? It means that Alex Kay has moved back up into 2nd place, just a point behind Arthur Farley, and Hidde still in the hunt there, 2 points off the lead in 3rd. Gadek has moved from 7th to 4th, so a great result for the Frenchman. Greece 9 in 5th, and Velista slipping down despite a really good start in that race. So we're going to have a break now just to let them relax the old thumbs and fingers, and we'll be back in just a few minutes' time. So let's keep an eye now on the course, because we've just got a few seconds to the start. And that is why Azair is the favourite to win this World Championship final.
Yeah, and Pepito with a good start, Alec. He's coming into the mark. It's Giannis with him, Greek 9. It's a very great race by the young Carlos. He went with Greece to the left-hand side. They're going for this reaching mark.
A few penalties handed out already, and the clock is now go. He's coming over to this right-hand side. He's going to take on Cheque Presentations, who reacts and picks up the penalty, and it's happened again.
So, Tristan and Pepito, see how fantastic upwind leg both of them been doing.
So, out in front, Ramon Pereiro, he's going to take this victory surely. Pepito in second place, and a really good fight happening for third and fourth. Powering up, they're catching the wind in those huge wing sails, and they will be hitting maximum speed as they cross the start line.
Ramon goes in, he needs to pressure him. This is going to be close. He's pushed outside. So, as foreseen, here we have the Paparos battling with Pepito. It's an important point. Yeah, and Alec, just to do the mathematics, right now as it looks, everybody from position 6 to position 1 can be the world champion.
What a win for him. 75 metres ahead of Britain's Deja Vu. The top 8 could all take the world championship. It is go, and it is penalties. So some bad starts there for Pepito and Ramon.
He's in the lead, Alec. So right now, Portugal is going to have their first eSailing world champion.
So you've got Ramon and Pepito and Tristan sort of just focusing on themselves and on their battle for the lead. And they're now seeing others break away. And who knows, maybe we're going to see a real upset now.
That can give him the world championship to Greece right now.
Wow.
Penalty, Greece! No.
Rocco of Italy, who has struggled throughout the regatta, has actually come good in the end to take the medal race ahead of Carlos Parejo and Greece 9. A world champion for 2021 is a Spaniard. It is the 19-year-old from Seville, and his name is Carlos Parejo, who pulled off the most extraordinary medal race that saw his nearest challengers drop down to the back of the fleet, and Carlos Parejo, with that second place finish in the medal race, has sneaked the victory by 1 point. Chico Pimelo in second, Pepito took third.
You'll be there, 'cause everything reminds me of you. I can't take no more. Girl, I think I'm losing my mind. Try to go to work, but I lost track of time. 'Cause everyone keep looking like you. I can't take no more. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you with someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. What you need from me, need your love on me, put your love on me. I'ma do everything for you. I don't want anyone but you. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. Can we stop the clock and rewind? Go back to that moment in time when you say you want me for life. Was it all a lie? I gave my all to deserve ya, begging on my knees just to show ya you're the one I want and I love ya. No, 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 no lie. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you with someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. What you need from me, need your love on me, put your love on me. I'ma do everything for you. I don't want anyone but you. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. Your love.
Hello and welcome back to the eSailing World Championship Grand Final. It's 2023, but it's the 2022 Grand Final, just to confuse things a little bit. But that's because this Grand Final has been, 8 months in the making, hasn't it, with 70,000 sailors from around the world. Now, just to bring you up to date, if you're just joining us, we've had 6 races so far. Arthur Farley of Great Britain is our overall leader, but only by a point. Alex Kay is second for France, and the Dutch youngster Hidde is in third. But it's all, there's confirmation of the overall scores, but it's all really close. We're just a few minutes away from picking up the second half of this Grand Final. So we've got 5 more races before the double point medal race. So everything, absolutely everything to race for, and every sailor on that list and in this room right now can still win. Scott Over from World Sailing. It's great, isn't it? It's great to be here in the flesh, first of all, and not remotely. But it's also great that the racing's been so exciting.
Well, it's been a bit like a reunion, actually, because I've been seeing these guys online for, 3 years now, hoping to get back to a situation like this, and it's delivered. I mean, the racing has been electric, and yeah, once we got going, it was no stopping them, so it was really, really good.
That's right, and I was just looking down the list of winners for those 6 races, and apart from Bartland Brex that's won 2, we've had different winners for every race, which is fantastic news, and we've seen the overall leaderboard change as well. And this comes off the back of a really exciting Nations Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Nations Cup now, it was the 3rd year that we ran, and the first year we saw just really good competition, and I think the structure really prevailed, you know, with the 10-on-10 team racing, and it was really strong. And we did see the French just demolish everybody pretty much in the pack, but it was exciting racing.
2 of their team are here,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah, and yeah, no, it's just a great structure, and I think we'd look to get that live as well. You know, bringing the teams together and create almost a festival of eSailing like we've got here in the setup we have here.
Yeah, yeah. And sort of looking ahead then, seeing as you're talking about, you know, festivals, I mean, where do you see this all going? When's the next World Championship going to kick off, and when's the next Nations Cup qualification going to start?
Yeah, so we're looking to kick off end of January, which is only just around the corner. It barely gives these guys any time to recover. And we've got a lot of different components this year. So we're including the ocean race import races as part of the World Championships. We've got a lot going on with Olympic classes and the OES, so the Olympic Esports Series, which will also kick off in February. And that's all leading to a final for the Olympic Esports Series in Singapore, along with loads of other esports will be featured as virtual regatta, and we'll be inviting the top 10 in that series to compete in Singapore. So I would be surprised if we didn't see a lot of these faces here, but yeah, that's a really positive thing. And obviously with the ocean race just around the corner, we've got offshore. Yeah. So that's going to be exciting.
Well, with so many e-sailors out there watching, you know, you might be sitting there at home going, yeah, but it takes so much effort and so much competition to get to these things. Yeah, but, you know, our finalists have been to Florida, they've been to Bermuda, they're here in Alicante in Spain, and now you're talking about getting them to Singapore. So it's, you know, become a sailor and see the world. I mean,
become an e-sailor and
see the world.
That's right.
And there's a very good reason why we're here in Alicante, because they've really kind of invested a lot of time and belief in their own competition, their own e-sailing competitions.
Yeah, no, I think it's a top setup here. I mean, we're sat in an amazing facility right next to a whole village full of other esports. So, no, they're doing a great job, and we've been really well supported by the Ocean Race and their team.
Yeah. So just to recap, they've got. And I'm just watching an ocean race boat heading off for a bit of training on the bay, or maybe coming back into the port. Should you be around here in Spain, do come and join us. It's a fantastic atmosphere in the race village that opened today. So quite an honour to be here, actually, on the first day. So just to finish off, they've got 2 ocean race competitions in eSailing, haven't they?
That's right. So they've got the offshore, which is they follow the IMOCAs around the world. Each leg by leg, you'll be racing off against the real-life IMOCAs, as well as the hundreds of thousands of competitors that will be involved in that. And then obviously we've got the inshore component, which is their inshore races as part of our World Championships. So it's, yeah, a lot going on, great collaboration. We've got other series, so eSail GP is obviously featured. The IMOCA was introduced within the inshore races. So yeah, loads being added, and we just want to keep building the numbers and making it more and more competitive, like we're seeing here today.
Okay, Scott, thanks very much for joining us. I've been looking around, and they're ready to go. So we ought to get the next race underway. Thanks very much. I think you just wait there for a second, and we're going to get my co-commentator Lucas Moore back in. I think he's gone to the bar. So our next race is in the J70, one of the favourite boats in eSailing. Why? Well, it's a light racing keel boat. Normally it's crewed for 3 or more, but in eSailing, it's often used in team racing, especially in the Nations Cup, and these guys have all competed many times in that. So one of the favourite boats that we're going to see is the J70, and it gets its first outing right now. Its next outing will be for the all-important medal race. All right, so the race officers just checking that everyone is ready to go before they start the counter for the pre-start. What do you think of the J70, Lucas?
I think it's one of the most sailed boats in Virtual Regatta, also for team racing, fleet racing, match racing, and it looks like we're live. All 10 boats are on the start line again.
Here we go then. It is race number 7, counting down in the J70 here in the World Championship final. Our overall leader, Arthur Farley, only has a 1 point advantage over Alex Kay of France. And Hidde of the Netherlands is a point further back. Then it's a 5-point drop to Gadek of France. So those are the top 4 to keep an eye out for as we head into this 7th race. Can Bart Lambrechts get his 3rd victory of the final, or are we going to have a new face cross that finish line for the first time? 22 seconds to go. How soon do they get the wind data? How do they know, when do they know where it's coming from?
They get it from right when they join the race. So sometimes people join before, other people like to join just before the start. But we have 3 seconds left, and we see Hidde is doing another penalty start. Let's see if it works out this time. Roxy Johnny starting in the middle, looks like he's well away, but the wind is going a bit more to the left now, so it looks like Farley and Release to 71 are in good positions at the moment.
Good start from the Italian. Good start from our overall leader in 2nd, and Greece 9 again. We've seen Greece 9 have some really good starts in this final, but hasn't always managed to hold on to that advantage. It's sort of slipped down, especially in the early races.
Yeah, in the early races. Now he's in 5th with 33 points, but it's going better and better for him. Hopefully he can keep his good starting position in this race. But it is a J70. Race is going to be very close. The wind shadow is also quite strong, also on the downwind. So it's going to be hard for these guys to slip away from the pack.
Change of skin as well for the J70, with the Italians choosing their federation's colours.
Yeah, this year we had a new addition to the game with federation skins, and we see the Italians using them. Maybe also the French, as I know they also have a skin.
We'll get a closer look in a second, but cross there between the Briton and the Italian in the middle of the fleet there, Arthur Farley. So I'm looking at darkening waters and strengthening breeze in the middle of the course here as they approach that top mark.
Looks like Heat is in the lead at the moment, but I'm not sure he's going to be once the guys on the left-hand side tack, as the wind is shifting a bit to the left again, so Velista is going to have a nice lift coming up to this windward mark. And Roxy Johnny is also well in the mix at the moment. He could use a nice race. He's currently sitting in 9th position overall.
Well, 3 of our 6 races so far won by Dutch sailors, but at the moment we're looking at Bart Lambrechts, who's fighting near the front and trying to get into that leading 3, but Hidde down in 8th right now.
It's going to be a very close mark rounding. Velista is just going to sneak in front of Roxy Johnny.
We're going to see
maybe he's tacked in the zone, so Jonathan will be able to pen him, but it looks like he's just gotten away.
Really close at this top mark as the fleet bunches together. Penalty for Arthur Farley.
Unfortunate for him, he hit the mark just going around it, so he's got some catching up to do.
But Velista 71 is out in front, launches the Spinnaker, downwind they go. J70 with a wind shadow of 30 meters, so the downwind obviously crucial in this.
It looks like it's going to be very hard to stay out of wind shadow. Velista is really struggling to find a free spot at the moment.
And that's what makes the J70, and we're going to see a star class as well later. What makes those 2 classes so exciting is that it often comes down to the last few meters of the downwind. There's a lot of crosses going on here as they try and inflict their wind shadow on their opponents to slow them down in this first downwind leg of the J70 race. Over at the far side, the pink boat with the unicorn, Roxy Johnny, has taken the lead with Velista right behind him. Bart Lambrechts in 3rd. And Hidde's
just sneaking in on the 4th place. So it's going to be very, very exciting last upwind, this one. It looks like there's still a lot to fight for, and the racing is still very close.
Now, there's darkening breeze over on this left-hand side. But there seems to be a bit of a split of opinion on the fleet. Alberto just tacking to avoid grease 9.
Looks like
some
Alex
going left,
K,
some going right.
Alex K is trying his luck on the right-hand side, and we have Roxy Johnny and Velista out on the left-hand side, and it looks like the wind is actually shifting a bit to the right now. But it looks like the 3 leading boats are pretty safe at the moment. It's going to come down between them on the downwind, but it could be a nice comeback for Alex K and Gadek.
Here we go. Now we can see the spread of the fleet. We're on board with Alberto of Italy, trying to make his way back up the fleet. But Roxy Johnny and Velista 71 challenging for the lead.
We hear Velista shouting in the background.
I can hear the word
Maybe we shouldn't relay them.
It's shifting. So the wind is shifting. And what's that going to mean as they congregate, as they come together at this top mark? It means that Roxy Johnny still has the advantage after that great downwind leg.
But is it enough to sail away? Doesn't look like it at the moment.
Alex K now moved up to 2nd. Where did he come from on that upwind leg?
I think that was the right-hand shift. After the gate, he went all the way out on right-hand side, and it has really paid off for him and Gadek.
So it's Germany, France, and then the Netherlands with Bart Lambrechts in fourth as they head downwind towards the finish line. The stragglers are still coming up to the top mark. And again, Greece 9, he's dropped back to 9th place.
Looks like Roxy Johnny has been able to sail away, and it's going to be between the two French guys to battle it out for 3rd place. But they really got to watch out for Bart Lambrechts, who is close behind, that they don't fight too much and slow themselves down so that Bart gets back in the fight.
Bart within wind shadow distance of Gadek. But then you get into the difficulties, don't you, where you're so busy looking behind you that you actually miss someone coming up alongside you. But let's enjoy this moment because it's Roxy Joni's first victory of the final for Germany. Roxy Joni takes victory in the J70. Right, 2nd place. The battle is on between the two French players. Alex Kay crosses the line, but did Gadek just take it? The computer's given it to Alex Kay ahead of Bart Lambrechts in 4th. Hidder's moved up to 5th, and that position of 5th could be crucial as we look at the leaderboard later. Arthur Farley struggling there.
That was a photo finish for last place, Ian.
Battling to the end. And look at that, 7th, 8th, 9th was Italy. But that's our winner, Roxy Joni of Germany. Well done, mate. So at last, a smile and a release of tension, because I think he did say before the start that he was feeling the pressure.
Again, he has the best average speed. Not the shortest distance sailed, but best average speed. And here we see it.
Yeah.
He got away from the 3rd mark.
A lot more overtaking in the latter stages of the race, reflecting that downwind tactic. So Alex Kay has taken the lead now. He's out in front with 27 points, 2 points ahead of Arthur Farley. And Hidder is in 3rd, 5 points behind. Gadek still in touch with 34. Bart Lambrechts slipped down to 5th place. It's consistency that we keep talking about. And Bart Lambrechts, 2 victories, but 2 7ths, 2 9ths.
Yeah, and it was the 4th place that made him slip down. So it is really close.
So really close, and a victory for Germany then in that race. Looking forward to the next race, which is the Star Class, and then I believe we'll have seen all the boats competing. Now the Star Class, it's another keel boat, rich Olympic history, 80 years in the Olympic Games until its removal in 2012. And the eSailors love it, or at least I should say the eSailors that are like a slower, more tactical race.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a mix, if you ask, around the eSailing community.
Yep. So,
but it is a nice boat. It's very close, and you really gotta pay attention to everything that happens on the race course.
Now, I've got high hopes in this race for Filippo Lanfranchi, former world champion, in his 3rd World Championship final. He's actually the bottom boat there that's being called number 9 because of a slight glitch, but that is Filippo Lanfranchi. Why do I have high hopes? Because he likes the slower boats and he sails the Star in Viareggio in Italy. So he knows this boat very, very well, both in real life and in eSailing. So we'll see how he gets on. With 20 seconds to go, they're beginning to form up. Where would you go on the line?
I think at the moment I would fight for pin end. It looks like the breeze is more to the left, so it's going to be a big advantage for the pin end winner. Looks like at the moment it is actually going to be Filippo winning that pin end. Yeah. Can he speed up quick enough?
So lots of penalties picked up there for lots of boats, but Velista 71 away well. Arthur Farley just working his penalty out. That's worn off now. Alex Kay, Hidder once again up in the mix there. But we're on board with Velista 71, closest to us. on the course as Arthur Farley tacks behind him. And at the moment, a fairly even breeze right across the course, although slight left advantage.
Yeah, Filippo, he just has a 4-meter lead because he started at the pin end. It looked like pin end was a bit favored on this race course. And that just, if you win the extra meters in the start, then you're going to be in front. But it's also very important that you're able to tack onto port tack when the wind is so much on the left. So you really got to try also squeeze out the other boat starting close to you.
So Filippo Lanfranchi still being given the lead, but it's really close at the moment. Early stages of the race, it's the first upwind leg. It's upwind, downwind, standard course that we've seen throughout.
Looks like Alex K is going to try tack a bit early. Maybe he's going to try force Filippo into tacking so he can have the starboard advantage when coming to the top mark. Looks like Filippo is going to tack in front of him, and he's going to have to tack away out to the ley line. But the breeze is still staying a bit more to the left. So it is going to be in favor of Filippo, this tacking duel they're having.
So much longer race in time rather than distance. You're looking at maximum speeds upwind.
Filippo tacks a bit too close to Alex, and Alex forces a penalty upon him. But he is actually going to be a bit below ley line, so he is going to be able to maybe squeeze in front of him on this reach leg. But still very close. The whole fleet is bunched up, and it's going to be a wall of wind shadow covering Hida on this first downwind.
So the leaders kind of picking up a poison chalice, really, because they're going to struggle to stay out in front. Sometimes it's better to round the mark somewhere in the middle of the fleet, isn't it? So that you can catch the boats in front. But Hida's out in front, just Alex K. After that move against Velista. Velista trying to make up the distance now to close the gap on the leaders. Bart Lambrecht's moving up to 5th. Arthur Farley, though, this is a shocker, down in 10th place.
Yeah, but at 10th place is not that bad on the first downwind.
Especially when the fleet's so close.
Yeah, exactly. You see a lot of highlighted water, and it's basically just a wall of wind shadow. And we also see he is struggling a bit to get away, but looks like he's trying his best to being able to round that right-hand gate and maybe being able to do a quick tack and head to the right-hand side of the course as well.
Well, all three leaders have done very well to still be there, quite honestly. So Hida approaching that bottom gate, the halfway mark of this race. Looking at maximum speed in this boat, about 7, just under 8 knots downwind. But it's Hida who reaches that bottom gate first,
so he's
takes this left-hand mark, gets caught up in the congestion, but that's a great downwind leg. He's taken the lead from Amos and Alex K in 3rd, Velista 71, still in the hunt in 4th place.
Yeah, so he did a nice job just doing a quick tack around the gate mark, trying to match where Alex K is going. And it looks like they're going to try catch the wind on the right-hand side and get a lift up to the windward mark. Hida defending his first place, forcing Alex K to tack away. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to... No, Alex K is going to tack again and follow Hida. So Hida in a nice controlling position at the moment, but his lead is not big enough yet to be free of the wind shadow. So what he can hope is that the guys behind him try focus on each other so they won't cover him as much on the last downwind.
Good to, if we could hover over a few of them just to see what sort of speeds they're reaching on this upwind. If they're reaching 5.5, then they're doing well. Yeah, there you go. So about 5.5 knots. So they're racing these boats as pretty close to maximum speed as possible.
Amos also in the lead. I think this will probably be his highest finish in these races if he manages to hold on to his third place.
The Italian, Amos Di Benedetto. But it's Hidde who rounds that top mark for the final time in the lead. But there's very little between him and Alex Kay and third-placed Amos.
A costly penalty for Farley just here in the middle of the pack. And he's going to have a couple of boats being able to sail on top of him and block him from coming out of his penalty.
Yeah, penalty for Gadek, penalty for Alberto. Some of them just sort of crashing into each other, others getting stuck on that mark.
And now we see three leading boats. Alex Kay is trying to get out of Amos' wind shadow. And I think Hidde has just been lucky enough that Amos is just focusing on Alex Kay and he's going to be able to sail away. Yeah, we see it here.
So a big wind shadow then, 33 meters. No spinnakers, though, on these boats. No Janikers. But Hidde looks like he is heading for victory. It's difficult to tell, isn't it, from this angle, how far that finish line is.
Alex Kay is also in the free wind and has a bit more breeze. So if Amos is able to catch Hidde, it's going to be a very close finish. But at the moment, it looks like Hidde is 30 meters in the lead.
We're in a situation now where, you know, Hidde is hoping that Bart Lambrex is throwing his wind shadow on Alex Kay and Amos and Roxy Joni, and that they're all slowing each other down to give him the chance to get away. 8.3 knots from Alex Kay. That's almost a knot faster than Hidde. So can Alex Kay close the gap as they come into the finish line? Is it going to be a French victory? It's going to be a victory, another victory for Hidde of the Netherlands, his second win in this grand final. So a really exciting finish, and well done to the youngster from the Netherlands. Alex Kay second, Amos in third, his best results of the final. Roxy Joni in fourth, Bart Lambrex fifth, and Arthur Farley well down. And there's our winner. Another smile from him, fist pump with his neighbours. And well done to Hidde from the Netherlands, our youngest competitor at this final here in Alicante.
An exciting race. It was also really close for the last couple of positions. It looked like it was a very costly race for our current second place, Arthur Farley. Looks like he's going to jump down a spot. But he did a good job he had a good start. Good,
let's see what it means.
Downwind.
There's the overall leaderboard. Alex Kay goes top, but Hidde moves up into second place, 4 points behind the Frenchman, and Arthur Farley still in the hunt in third, Gadek in fourth, Bart Lambrex in fifth. And really, it's all about just staying in charge with these, staying in touch with these leaders, because the medal race is double points, and that medal race is now just 1, 2, 3 races away.
It looks like, well, currently, I think the top 6 can still win, and if it's still this close in the medal race. But currently, Alex Kay and Hidde are doing, they're really consistent, both of them. So I think, hopefully, this carries on until the medal race.
All right, well, I'm looking around at the players. They seem ready. They still seem focused and ready to go on to the next race, which is in the 49er. It's our second time that we've seen this race in the final. Arthur Farley won it last time round. He was really closely challenged by Bart Lambrex, though, who sails this at Olympic level. So we'll see how it pans out. As for the course, it's a standard upwind, downwind Olympic style course.
Looks like we're going to be ready to go in the race. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, all 10 sailors in on the server. So the timer has gone, and we are now 1 minute from go. Race number 9 of 11 before the medal race.
So if we look now, it looks like there's a bit more breeze on the right-hand side. So it's going to be interesting to see how many boats are going to be fighting for this committee boat end. where we see them lining up, some of them with their spinnakers up, just going to the back of the fleet and gonna slowly start sailing their way back to the starting line.
And, you know, the different styles of start we've seen reflect the different types of boats, and that is why we have 8 different classes of boats in the grand final, so that we can test the sailors to the max and make sure that the man that comes out as winner is indeed the best all-rounder. 5 seconds to go. They've lined up right across that start line. Someone was a little bit early, tried to put the brakes on. They are go. There's a penalty for Hidde and for Greece 9, but all the others are clean away, with Alberto heading off to the right-hand side, and Hidde just losing time
Looks
on
like
that
he
penalty.
had a false start, so he had to go back under the line and had to restart. But it looks like it's going to be a quite tricky race. Currently, there's two wind shifts, one from the left and one from the right. So it's going to be interesting to see where they decide to go. But currently, we have Velista 71 in the lead, closely followed by Roxy, Johnny, and Farley.
Yeah, the bulk of the fleet still very close, bow to bow. But look at the darkening breeze. They're heading into some strong winds, and the 49er can reach almost 12 knots upwind in this game.
I think we have, is it Alex K coming in from the right-hand side? So he's just doing really good at the moment. Clean starts and just really good at placing his boat on the first upwind. Just making sure that he stays consistent. The wind is shifting to the left now. Alex K is currently the boat furthest on the left-hand side. Looks like Farley and Gadek has decided to follow him. Looks like there's also going to be some more breeze there. So at the moment, it looks like Alex K will be in the lead of this race around the windward mark.
Oh, cross coming in here. Plenty of space, though, for Alex K. Velista 71 passing behind him. Roxy Joni. Tax heads into that top mark. Obviously, we're going to need another maneuver from Alex K to get around. There's chatting and talking amongst the sailors behind us. Just stuff you miss when it's remote, isn't it? You don't hear the cries and the shouts. And there's a penalty there for Greece 9.
Oh, that was very costly. He got a penalty. And
another penalty, this time for Hidde and Bart Lambrex. So the rear of the fleet inflicting penalties on each other, and that's just going to make their position even worse as the spinnakers are launched and the leaders head downwind for the first time.
Alex K currently in the lead, closely followed by Arthur Farley and Velista 71. Our current leader and second place on the overall standings.
If you've just joined us, you're wondering how Bart Lambrex is lying down with a pillow. He's at home. He's not here. That's how he's managed to do it. He's actually at an Olympic training camp, I understand, in the Canary Islands. We're watching Amos, who certainly is here playing on his phone, and you can see the concentration that it takes.
Fight from Alex K and Farley at the moment.
Down at the bottom gate, it's a real battle for first between the Frenchman and the Briton. And Alex K came out on top just with Gadek in third. Penalty for Gadek, though. Penalty also for Alberto.
Looks like Alberto just got stuck with this penalty for a short while there. But Alex K really solid at the moment.
Great downwind leg from Alex K. It's given him the advantage. It's not a big advantage. Arthur Farley trying to close the gap, and it's not a big gap. 49er
going to follow him, trying to also cover Roxy Johnny at the same time.
Not as significant a wind shadow as the previous boats we've seen, so downwind not as significant. Upwind is where you can get the advantage with the 49er, and that's why this penultimate leg of the race is so important. Alex K will be trying to build up as much of an advantage as possible. You can get a good 30 meters on your opponent with the 49er upwind, and that's what he's trying to do. Arthur Farley is trying the opposite. He's trying to keep as close to Alex K as possible. Roxy Joni in third now. Hidde, who we've got in front of us, currently bringing up the rear of the fleet.
Yeah, and we see it's really close also in the middle of the pack, also fighting for coming into the top 3 of the overall standing. So there's still a lot to fight for here in the 9th race of the day.
So our leader reaches that top mark. He's got 1 leg to go, and it's a 44-meter advantage. And in theory, that should be enough to give Alex Kay victory, but still, you know, got a leg to go. So let's not call it yet. Amos, quite a distance, isn't it, from 2nd to 3rd? I can't see that changing. So really, this is the battle for us to watch all the way down to the finish line. You can see those 2 yellow lines coming from the sky. That's where they're aiming for. Alex Kay out in front, 58 metres advantage over Arthur Farley of Great Britain. These two are also battling for 1st and 2nd in the overall standings. So that is close. It's also close for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Amos, Roxy Joni and Velista 71 now coming into the hunt as well.
We saw Roxy Joni trying to do a fake jibe, trying to get Velista to jibe before him, but I don't think he's going to fall for that after I've been in 3 finals.
Velista behind us, laughing away. He's enjoying himself. And he did say, you know, he's won a World Championship once. This is his 3rd time. He's here to have fun. And you can see that written all over his face. But Alex Kay has the most fun in this race. Alex Kay wins it for France ahead of Britain's Arthur Farley. And Amos of Italy, is he going to hold on for 3rd? Yes, he does.
Close.
Another good result for the
Roxy
Italian,
Joni.
but a real scrap at that pin end between Roxy Joni and Velista 71. Did they both squeeze in to finish across that line? We shall have to see when the results come up. But there's our winner. Well done. Big smile and a fist pump from Alex Kay. 2nd victory for him in this final.
Roxy Joni just managed to snatch that 4th place from Velista 71.
Gadek 6th. Bartland brakes with the maximum speed. Yeah, look at that. Alex Kay takes the lead after the 1st leg.
10-point lead for Alex Kay now. Tied for 2nd place.
And Arthur Farley remains in 3rd. So it just shows you how important every position is, because Hidde was last at one point, and those 3 positions have made all the difference by finishing 7th. So it's France, Netherlands and Great Britain, but 10 points, and this is more significant, 10 points separate those 3 leading boats, which tells us that things are beginning to spread out a little bit.
Yeah, but you can still get 10 points for a last place. So he's got to still stay consistent. He's got a 9th place in the 3rd race as well. So, but at the moment, I think he's doing very well at staying out of trouble, staying away from the other boats and avoiding penalties.
But Alex Kay putting in some really good races, because it's not just, you know, 2 victories. He's got, in the last 3 races, he's been 1st or 2nd. In fact, I'm just looking at his results. There's only 2 races in which he hasn't been on the podium.
Yeah, so it's impressive sailing from him.
Really impressive from the Frenchman, who will now surely be thinking he can add a World Championship title to his Nations Cup title as well. All right, they're all looking ready to go. It's the laser next. We've seen them in action. Funnily enough, Alex Kay won the laser race previously. And from the course map, it's another upwind, downwind leg. So for those who weren't with us earlier on, how do you sail the laser? What's the trick? I mean, in eSailing.
Yeah, in eSailing, it's a slow boat. The maneuver, the tacking is slow, jibing is fast. But the tacks, you really got to be careful that you don't get stuck head to wind and start going backwards.
We didn't see a lot of pumping in the first laser race. I wonder if we'll see more of that in this one, as we have a minute to go to race number 10. Then it's the NACRA after this race, and then we're into the medal race. So time and races are running out for those who want to win this grand final. 45 seconds to go. Where are they going? Where do they want to be?
Looks like we're going to have a favored pin end for this race, but the laser is the boat where most people do a penalty start. So I think we're going to see a bit a mix of everything. But the wind is a bit to the right at the moment, but it's hard to say with 20 seconds to go. Usually they just line up side by side and hope for the best, but looks like Hida is going to continue with his penalty starts, and so is Amos.
Okay, so the names to watch here: Alex Kay, Hida, Farley, and Gadek, who are our 4 leaders overall. And it is go in race number 10 of the World Championship final in the laser class. We're looking at Alex Kay, our overall leader. Didn't seem happy with his start.
A penalty right after the start, so he's going to be slowed down for 10 seconds. So he's already...
And you could see the anguish on his face for that.
Oh, and he tacks right at the same time as he does, so he has to do another tack. So a really costly start for him in this time. But Roxy Johnny with a good start, currently in the lead with 10 meters. Arthur Farley and Alberto close behind.
Roxy Johnny, who represents Germany but lives in Brussels right now, works for the EU, does his sailing on Lake Constance back home. Not a little bit different from sailing in the Med. But here we are with the leading pack heading up towards the top mark.
Still very close, only 8 meters separating the top 3 at the moment. Looks like the wind is back to the middle and maybe going to shift a bit to the right. So Roxy Johnny's really going to have to watch out that he doesn't get caught.
So I mentioned pumping earlier on. Tell us about that.
So we don't see too much of it in today, but it's really when you just bear away and then you go back to the best VMG button that we do have in Virtual Regatta. You just speed up 0.5, 0.8 knots, and then you're able to carry that for a couple of seconds. So it is just a way to escape a wind shadow or just hurry up and go to the other side.
We're on board with Gadek, currently sitting in 8th place. But it's all so close. And I think as we see them come together at that top mark, they're going to have to be careful not to pick up penalties.
Yeah, it looks like Arthur Farley is currently in the lead, but Alberto looks like he has him locked at the moment, so Farley's going to have to wait until Alberto tacks, and I maybe think that Bart is holding up Alberto, so at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Bart who's going to decide when we're going to head for the mark. Alberto has tacked, has to duck behind Bart. Arthur Farley clear on the ley line. Looks like he's currently going to be our race leader going around the windward mark. But still very close throughout the fleet, only 40 meters separating from first to 10th.
So here we go, coming up to the top mark. Let's see who actually has the advantage, and it is Arthur Farley of Great Britain, Amos of Italy, and Alberto are 2nd and 3rd. It's quite an orderly procession. Bart Lambrecht's picking up a penalty, though.
Oh, a penalty for Gadek, just touching the mark when going around. That's unfortunate.
Just tried to squeeze in too tightly into a gap that wasn't big enough. Farley heads down. Downwind, Amos, Alberto. Wind shadow, not such a big issue. Well, it's 28 meters, so it does have an effect.
Yeah, it's quite strong as well, but you got to be closer than the other boats or the Star. As you see, Roxy Johnny really just getting held up by what looks like 3 wind shadows behind him. So currently the top 3 boats have managed to sail away from the rest of the fleet. Amos is currently attacking Farley. Looks like Farley's gonna... Oh, that's unfortunate for Amos, just hitting Farley in the back and getting himself a penalty. But that has made Alberto our new race leader. But I think he's going to go around the least favorite Marcus. Farley's going to have a lift going out on the left-hand side.
Penalty to Gadek, another one, and another one for Bart Lambrex as well. Roxy Joni picks up a penalty. So some costly penalties at that bottom mark. And now we've seen Alberto out in front.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's going to have a nice wind shift now. Wind is going a bit to the left, so he's going to have a lift. And hopefully he's going to be able to cover Farley for the rest of this upwind and extend his lead so he can grab his first race win of the day.
Still a long
But he looks very relaxed.
It's in his own little world. Totally focused is Bart Lambrex there, but nicely comfortable.
Nicely comfortable.
Yeah. Right, there we go. We get a good view now with Velista 71 in the middle there and Alberto, our leader. That gives you a good idea of how close it all still is.
Yeah, we have a massive right-hand shift, and Amos is actually also back in the fight for the top three. But it looks like Alberto's just going to be able to cross Farley and maybe, yeah, just tack right below him and force him to make two tacks. Oh, that was a very slow tack from Farley. It looks like Amos is also going to be able to overtake him now. So an Italian 1-2 at the moment. Does not look happy at the moment, Farley.
Yep, Italy 1-2. Arthur Farley of Great Britain in 3, which, if I remember correctly, was a Nations Cup semi-final, Italy against Great Britain. Britain got the upper hand on that one, went on to play against France, who then took the victory. But let's now focus on this race, because we're coming to the all-important closing stages as they approach this top mark. There's not much in it between the two Italians. And
it looks like Alberto's actually in a really good position right here. He's able to cover Amos a bit with his wind shadow. Maybe it's enough to extend his lead and escape from his wind shadow downwind. Farley close behind Amos. Hopefully for Alberto, they're going to be fighting on the downwind, and it's going to let him escape.
Yeah, so that wind shadow, can they use that to their advantage as they try to reel in Alberto? I doubt it, with an 80-meter lead. Amos and Farley fighting it out, really close between them.
Tough race for Hida and Roxy Joni.
So a real battle going on for second and third.
And Alex K is also on 8th place. So he's going to add, at the moment, 8 points.
So there's Amos trying to stay ahead. You can just see on the right-hand side that sort of slightly white wind shadow of Farley trying to catch him. But Alberto is going to get his best result here of the final, his first victory, and he is celebrating already. Well done, Alberto. In his first ever World Championship final, takes his first ever victory in the laser class. Well done to him. Amos takes second now at the committee boat end, just ahead of Arthur Farley. And Greece 9 at the far end of the line was really close, almost took that third place. In comes Gadek and Alex Kay, our overall leader going into the race. Will he still be the overall leader?
I think he'll just manage to hold on to the lead, but it's going to be very close.
Alberto, give us a wave. He's on camera, but he's already thinking about his next race. Confirmation then of those results with Gadek in 5th, Bart Lambrex in 6th, and Roxy Joni 9th, and Hida bringing up 10th place. I'm glad I don't have to do the maths.
Luckily we have someone to do
the overall leaderboard is going to be complicated.
But we see, here we have it. Still 6 points lead for Alex K.
Yep, so Alex Kay out in front, 6 points. So that advantage has dropped. He's lost 4 points on Arthur Farley, who is now second. And Hidde in third, Gadek in fourth.
One race to go before the medal race.
Okay, so we have had the laser, the 49er, the Star, the J70. We've seen all the boats in action, and the final race for the medal race, before the medal race, will be in the NACRA 17. Just a chance for, I'm going to give the players just a minute to kind of regroup. And what would your tactics be if you were in that sort of leading five?
I think just really try to stay away from the penalty in the start and maybe start a bit more conservative and not be maybe way in the fight to fight for a good position on the line. I do think that if you start maybe in the middle where there's not a lot of boats, if you just stay clear, then you're able to stay in the front. You might not win the race, but you'll maybe stay in the top 5, which is looking to be very important for this race.
Right, so it's not about being a hero, it's about just being level-headed and consistent.
Exactly.
Well, we're back out on the water. So it's our final race before the medal race. It's the NACRA 17. The medal race, by the way, will be in a J70. But right now, let's focus on the very fast NACRA 17. But they're going to restart the game because there are a few issues. They want to make sure everybody is on the server and has access to that server and that it's all fair. So they've hit the reset button, and in about a minute or so, we will be back on the water. Here in Alicante, by the way, the race village is in full swing. I can hear drums. I can hear there's rock band playing in the food hall. So lots of people coming in to see the boats that will be making their way. Eh?
And see the new boats. First time for the Imocas.
See the Imocas here in the Alicante race village. Okay. So we are looking at the overall leaderboard here. We've got Alex Kay with 37, Arthur Farley with 43. That's first and second. Now, Hidde in third place is on 50. So we're looking at 13 points between him and the leader. Yes, it's double points in the medal race, but it's really important that he stays ahead of those boats, don't you think? He can't let them get ahead too much.
No, he's got to try to stay really close. And sometimes it's good enough just to finish behind them.
I've been asking some of these sailors, you know, what's their ritual for playing? What do you have a little sort of thing that you always do, a superstition before you race?
I think, what was that for the OVS series? In
the Olympic Virtual Series, last
in 2021, you asked me, and I said, oh, I play with my feet up and music on.
Music in your headphones?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just to focus, because it is, you do get nervous, especially if this is your first live final, or just final in anything. And it is $5,000 on the line for the winner. So it is not just any race. It is the grand final of the World Championship.
And if you're wondering what the drumming is, well, Pirates of the Caribbean have just drummed their way past the studios here, and a real party atmosphere happening out there. Right, I think we are almost ready to go. We've reset the server. And we're waiting for all the sailors to join the server now. We've got quite a few of them in there. We need 10. We need all the sailors to join. There's a lot of bit of waving going on over there. Arthur Farley has a problem behind us. Oh, we're so close to the medal race.
You don't want to miss out on this race.
Eh?
You don't want to miss out on this race.
You don't want to miss out on this race.
An expensive 10 points.
This is crucial. That's why we have to make sure that everyone's got the right connections and that everything is working to keep it fair. Race officers getting involved. So, did you compete in the qualification for this final? For the World Championships?
Yeah, I did, but I think I missed out by 20 spots
20
in
spots?
the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, out of 70,000, you make it sound like it was a big defeat, but out of 70,000 sailors, that's pretty good, I'd say. Are you going to try again?
Yeah, I think so.
2023?
It's a fun game, and it's nice. It's nice to play, and you've met a lot of people all around the world and made new friends.
Of course, if you make the final, we've got to find another co-commentator, haven't we, then? All right, here we go. We are ready. Race number 11, the final race before the medal race. And Roxy Joni has been renamed as number 6. That pink one on the left-hand side is Roxy Joni.
He's easy to see. He's had the pink boat
all the way through.
Yeah.
So 30 seconds to go, or thereabouts, and they're still sort of getting themselves sorted. NACRA 17, of course, one of the fastest boats at the Olympic Games, the only foiling boat at the Olympic Games.
Very close to the start now. 13 seconds to go. All the boats are lining up. Looks like Roxy Joni is going to try start on the middle of the line. Filippo is heading to the pin end, but is maybe going to be forced to by green 9.
Race number 11.
A lot of penalties out the start.
In the NACRA, it's penalties galore, and it's penalties for Bart Lambrex, for
Penalty
Roxy
for
Joni,
Alex.
Alex Kay, and Gadek as well.
Amos currently in the lead, but it's very close. Arthur Farley is not in a bad position either, and Hida is also up in the fleet this time. And we see Alberto just struggling to hang on in Farley's wind shadow. Amos tacking. Farley just had to avoid there. Gonna tack in front of Hida. Hida has to tack away again. And we see this is very close racing. They're really engaging in the tacking duels now.
So Hida out in front, where we were used to seeing him in the early half of the final. Arthur Farley, one of the favourites for this championship title, is now battling for that lead. Bart Lambrex as well. All the leading names are up in the hunt.
Almost all the way out on the left-hand side now. I'm not sure it was the good side to go to, as the wind is very much to the right at the moment, but they do have some more breeze, but I think it's going to be quite close. Looks like they may have been able to just sail a higher speed, and yeah, that's what's going to decide it here. They've had more breeze, and they're able to sail a couple of knots faster than the other boats.
So Amos, after a good race, seems to have found his form in the second half of this final. Amos out in front. Arthur Farley.
Closely followed by Green 9.
Yeah.
Alex Kay is also back after a penalty in the start. Fortunately, a penalty for Hida looked like he just got left by Alberto, or it could have been Ballista, 71.
Arthur Farley zigzagging his way downwind, and it's worked because he's managed now to get close enough to affect Amos with his wind shadow. And if we could see the speeds, then we'll be able to see the difference between that green sail and the black sail as he's affected by the wind shadow. But Amos holds on and is round that bottom mark and heading upwind in the lead, 20 meters ahead of Arthur Farley, Greece 9 in third.
Penalty for Alberto, dropping all the way down to 7th.
Look at that streak in the center of the course, though. That's where the strong breeze is.
Yeah, looks like Farley's going to try tack. Amos is going to follow. Looks like they're going to try cover up from the boats that went all the way to the left-hand side of the gate.
And there you can see a good advantage for Amos. He needs more, though, if he's going to hold on to that downwind. The Nacra has a 22-meter wind shadow, so Amos well-placed right now. Arthur Farley and Greece 9 battling it out for second and third. Gadek in 10th place at the moment.
Looks like Amos has decided to go back to the right-hand side, and Farley's all the way out on the left-hand side, but still very close, only 8 meters separating them now for first place.
Do you think that was a mistake to go that far out in one go?
Maybe he's just trying to get the starboard advantage coming into the top mark. It looks like he's going to be able just to...
Arthur Farley trying to sneak in there. Did he do it?
Manages to sneak in.
Yeah, he has. It looked like he'd hit the mark, but he sneaked in on the inside to take the lead on that at the start of the final leg. And then comes, so Amos second, Greece 9, still in third. Good position for him. They're heading down towards the finish line now with Arthur Farley out in front. Can Amos recoup? Can he regain the lead? He's reeling him in, 16 meters between him and the leader. But what about Greece 9? Can he do anything with his wind shadow? He's chasing for second. He's decided to try and slow down Amos, and that plays into the hands of the leader, who tries to get away. And now Greece 9 going for that second place, trying to force Amos out towards and beyond that ley line. But Arthur Farley banging the desk behind me, screaming and shouting. He takes the victory, and that could be an all-important victory when it comes to the medal race for Great Britain. Greece second, Amos third, Alex Kay of France fourth, Hidda in fifth place, and the Lister is in sixth with Alberto Roxigioni and Gadek bringing up the rear, never really recovering from an early penalty. So Arthur Farley then, winner in that race. Greece second. Let's just scroll down, see. So Velista in sixth place, and that could be his championship over. Bart Lambrex in seventh, Alberto eighth, Roxigioni ninth, and Gadek in 10th. So there are some of the stats as we work out who has taken the overall lead, if there has been any change indeed in that lead. You can see where Arthur Farley took the lead there, just before that final run to the finish. Alex Kay, pretty consistent in fourth place. So this is what it all means. It means there's only 3 points between the leader and second place. Then comes Hidda on 55 points. Gadek on 61. So it's double points in the medal race. That is coming up next. So all of the top 4 could win this World Championship final.
It's going to be tough for Gadek to win.
It's going to be tough, but
20 points.
We've seen people come back from further down the leaderboard than that. So Alex Kay, Farley, Hidda and Gadek go into the medal race knowing that all of them have a chance for victory because it is double points, and that race will be in the J70. So a moment of movement, kind of...
Now maybe they're thinking, should I match race the other guy or should I not? Or
yeah, I was going to say, so what are the tactics now? What would you do?
I think they could still lose the podium, some of them. So they really got to think about how they're going to approach this medal race.
It's a $10,000 prize pool. That is what is at stake. The winner gets 5, second place gets third, and gets 3. Oh, I'll have to look it up. But here we go, 5,000 for first, 3,000 for second, 1,000 for third, and the rest is divided up amongst the other sailors. I don't want to promise too much money, do I? So that is what is at stake, as well, of course, as the crown of being being able to boast for a whole year that you are the eSailing
Yep,
world
looks
champion.
like we're ready to go into the medal race.
All
J70.
right, here we go. The J70. We're on the waters of Alicante. It is the upwind, downwind course that we've seen raced throughout this final. It is the final race, the deciding race. So the names to look out for on that left-hand side are Alex Kay, who currently has a 3-point lead over Arthur Farley of Great Britain. And then comes Hidda in third place with 55 points. And there's an outside chance, mathematically, that Gadek of France in fourth could also win this. Double points, remember. That's what's at stake, a prize pool of $10,000. 30 seconds to go.
Final race of the 2022 season.
And how many races have we had to get to this point with 70,000 sailors competing at the start? 20 seconds to go. Now they're beginning to get a little bit feisty. They're holding a little bit back. They're holding back on this committee boat end. That yellow boat, I think that's Gadek, that far end, has made space for himself.
Alex is looking to start at the committee boat. Farley is on the center of the line.
Medal race in the 2022 World Championship final is go. It is in the J70, and it's a penalty for the two Italians, Alberto and Amos. Roxy Joni getting away well. So is Bart Lambrex and Gadek and Hidda as well.
Good start from Gadek, just staying away from that penalty. Penalty for Farley.
Oh,
that's going to be costly.
Bad news for Arthur Farley. I just heard him shout. Oh, I didn't see him. I'm not quite sure what happened. Did he crash into someone else? But anyway, it's a penalty, and that's dropped him down.
But
to
Gadek
ninth
is not free yet. He has Roxy Joni now. Maybe he's going to tack on him. Yeah, getting ready to tack. Going to force Alex Kay to do another tack. But we do have the win on the right-hand side. Looks like it's slowly shifting a bit to the left. But currently it's looking good for Alex.
So it's all about using your upwind to try and get as far ahead of your opponent as possible, because the downwind is crucial because of the size of the wind shadow and the speed that this J70 can get up. Penalty for Greece. And you see him slow down immediately, drop down the leaderboard as Roxy Joni and Bart Lambrex are bow to bow near the front of the fleet.
Roxy Joni in full concentration mode.
And the water's darkening, the wind picking up on this left-hand side. That'll play to those white and blue sails.
Still very close in the top here, only 40 meters separating the top six. Hidda gonna tack below Gadek. Gadek following.
Playing
Wind
it safe,
shifting,
not risking
to the left.
Not risking any
Roxy
penalties.
Joni gonna tack right in front of Gadek.
Right in front of them.
And we still have Alex Kay in this race. Currently, all he has to do is almost just be in front of Farley to claim the victory at the moment.
So Alex Kay sitting in third place with Arthur Farley in eighth. That means Alex Kay has done enough to hold on to the lead overall and will claim the championship.
Alex Kay is going to be on starboard tack. So they've really got to watch out, all the boats on port now, not to get a stupid pen inside the zone.
Oh.
Looks like a nice bit of traffic here.
Lots of
He
traffic.
just stuck head to wind.
Penalty to the Lister, penalty to Hidda.
Hopefully he rounds the mark and doesn't have to go back. But very costly mistake. Looks like he just missed the mark. It looks
and
like
another penalty for Arthur Farley. So it's all going wrong for the Briton, and it's all going right for Alex Kay, who's held on to third. They're heading downwind now for the first time. Roxy Joni, Bart Lambrex, Alex Kay, the leading three boats. Really close for third place.
Roxy Joni currently in 8th place and Bart Lambrex in 7th place overall. But they can actually still make the podium. So at the moment, Roxy Johnny is fighting for a spot on the podium.
Yeah, an inconsistent start from the German, but then he got that victory, and that seemed to fill him with confidence, and he's come back to really impress.
And usually in the J70, if we see here, the left-hand gate is favored. So it's going to be a bit higher up in the race course. As you see, most of them will probably go around that mark. Roxy Johnny tacking straight around the mark, tacking back to cover Bartland Bricks, probably going to tack on top of him now.
Okay, so let's check out where our leading boats are. Alex Kay, our overall leader, is in third. That is enough to win the championship if he holds on to third place, with Gadek in fourth and Arthur Farley in sixth. Arthur Farley is his nearest challenger on the overall leaderboard. So, upwind for the final time. Well over halfway now in this medal race to decide the world champion.
Bartland Bricks has actually managed to get in front of Roxy Johnny, it looks like. He's now in the controlling position. And Alex Kay just doing a good job of staying clear and not engaging in any fights.
Which was your advice going into the medal race. He's done exactly that. Looks like it's going to be a French victory. Bartland Bricks just sneaks ahead of Roxy Johnny now.
But maybe they still have the downwind. And it's all about who's best at attacking or who's best at defending for that spot. But they still have to watch out that the other guys don't catch up and they end up losing their first and second place.
Arthur Farley, second overall going into the medal race, currently sitting in seventh after picking up a couple of penalties.
Gadek currently in fourth place overall with 61 points, also looking to get on the podium.
And so the fleet, the leaders of the fleet, reach this top mark for the final time. Just one leg to go now. Roxy Johnny following Bartland Bricks up to that top mark. Over to the spreader mark, J70. 30-meter wind shadow. You can basically affect the boat you're chasing by 2 knots. You can slow them down by 2 knots if you can just get that white wind shadow to interfere and create turbulence and steal the wind from them. But Bartland Bricks, hugely experienced, knows what he's
56-meter
doing.
lead, almost enough to escape the wind shadow.
I can't see him being caught now by Roxy Johnny, but look what's happening behind them, that boat with a yellow star. Alex Kay of
Minding
France.
his own business, just going to the ley line, it looks, not wanting to engage in any fights whatsoever. Roxy Johnny and Bart are actually tied on points at the moment, so it's also about who's going to finish higher on the ranking.
So with Alex Kay in third place there, if he plays it safe, crosses the line in third, because Arthur Farley, his nearest challenger, is in sixth, he will have done enough to win the World Championship. So Bartland Bricks comes in to win the medal race, I think, at this pin end. Then comes Roxy Johnny, but all eyes are on that third place boat. Alexandra Kolaski of France. Alex Kay crosses the finish line in his first ever World Championship final to take the World Championship title. Alex Kay of France is our 2022 World Champion. Gadek took fourth, Arthur Farley fifth. Then came the Italians, Amos and Villista, our former world champion. And what a campaign it has been for Alex Kay. He has been so consistent, and they're celebrating behind us. Well done, Alexander. So a terrific race. And you said, you know, it's all about consistency. Looking at the results, and we'll hear from, we'll grab Alex in a moment. I think there's only about 3 races in which he wasn't on the podium. Alex, come here, come and join us. We're going to tell you what, sit down, have a seat. I don't know where your chair's gone. There you go. So look at that. That's the leaderboard. And you're at the top of it. How does that feel?
It's amazing because all the 10 players tonight were very good. And from the first race to the last one, I don't know who was going to win. So it's a big surprise and I'm very happy.
At what point did you think, yeah, actually, it's going well, I could win this?
2 races before the medal race, I saw that there was a little gap, and maybe we can play for the title, but not before the medal race.
But you must be so happy with your performance, because throughout, you know, we've been talking in commentary about consistency, and I need to double check, but I think that you were first, second, or third in all but 3 races. Is that right?
Well, I think I got 3 very bad races, but...
Well, don't argue with me, just take the compliment.
Thanks.
No, but it was a really, really good performance. In the end, that medal race didn't prove... What was your tactic? Was it just to keep out of trouble?
The idea was to make it simple, to do not to take much risk, and to check where Arthur was, but he was in the middle of the fleet, so difficult to come back then.
Okay, I'm going to take that. Congratulations. I'll let you just decompress for a moment. I want to try and grab Arthur. Can you come round, please? Come and join us in the interview chair. Second place in the end. It all came down to the medal race. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, I didn't see Filippo after the start, so I had a really good start. I tack, and then I take a penalty, like 10 seconds after the start, and yeah, it was finished. It was just a recovery, watching Hidde and Gadak to see if they could take the second. And yeah, Hidde played super well all night. Like, we have a team, right, called RS. Bart is also part of it. So I'm super proud of them to take the podium. And Hidde to be fighting first all the night as well. Like, it was incredible racing. One would take a good race, one would take a bad race, and then you kept on going, and Alex was slightly better at not having a bad one. Like, I would have a 9 or a 10, Hidde would have a 9 or a 10, and Alex would have a 6, for example. But yeah, super happy for him. Like, it's great.
It's your third final.
Second.
Second final.
Yeah.
You're going to be back next year?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I enjoy playing, especially with my team, as I said before, and yeah, it's super nice to see us come out on top.
Okay, Arthur, thank you very much. And well done. I mean, we're talking like as if you've lost. You've actually got silver, and we're about to give you a check, so that's great news. Oh, that's where the chair went. Right, I shall sit down again. So I think we can do the presentation now, the all-important presentation of the prizes. So we're just waiting for our presenters to hand over the prizes. Looks like you're going to go first, Scott. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, our third place sailor from the Netherlands, Bart Lambrechts. I don't know where he's coming from. Is he up on the big screen? Because he was competing from home. Just give him a few seconds to switch. There we go. Hi, Bart. Can he hear us? Oh, we don't have any voiceover. Okay, so there's Bart. He wins himself $1,000 for coming third. So well done. In second place then, So Scott Over from World Sailing, ready to present that $3,000 check to our second place sailor. From Great Britain, it's Arthur Farley. And now the all-important presentation to the 2022 eSailing World Champion. From France, it is Alex Kay. So congratulations to all our winners and all our e-sailors. I mean, it's a tremendous achievement to just make the final. So really well done to them and great to see them face to face. A real community spirit as well. If the players, if you just want to gather around, you can come and give, I know you've got lots of friends and relatives and so on. Some are here. And some are watching at home, so you can just gather around onto the camera and say goodbye because our time is up. He's got his check. Lucas Moore, thank you very much for co-commentating. It was great. And
thank you, Kelly.
To this side of the stage, kind of making this up as we go along now. There we go. Get them all on camera. Alberto, get in. Can we move this? That's it. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our world champion finalists and our winners. Congratulations to them. Thanks to Lucas Moore for co-commentating. And that is it from us. Well done, Alex Kay, our world champion for 2022. Well done to all the competitors. And we will see you in 2023 in about a month's time for the next World Championship, which gets underway at the end of the month. From me, Alec Wilkinson, it's goodbye.